Sports Update with Trust a Trader. Find top-notch tradespeople in your area, all who pass the Trust a Trader 15-point assessment.
Talk Sport.
Good afternoon with your sports headlines. I'm Will Hobbs. Derek Chisora says he'll keep his promise to retire after the Wilder fight. He said on talkSPORT's White and Jordan in front of his very first trainer, John Oliver, who says it's a must.
Forget how people have boxed, gone too far, got hurt, end up in care homes. We don't need that anymore. We want to help our boxers.
You're listening to what John's saying here, Derek.
Yeah, that's why I said 15 I'm out.
Tony Bellew echoes that sentiment in a slightly different way.
Oh, don't start, mate. He's promised me and he swore to me he'll stop. I'm not having it if he doesn't, mate. I'll finish him myself. If he doesn't stop, I'll drag him out. Lads, have a great week and don't forget...
Hey, head down and follow through, old son. Head down, follow through.
That fight between Wilder and Chisora is live on talkSPORT on Saturday night. The build-up will be on talkSPORT 2, and you can watch our coverage throughout on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. Now, what ramifications should Enzo Fernandez face for suggesting his Chelsea future is up in the air at the end of the season?
Now it's up to Liam Rosenior to show the other players that he's strong manager, because he shouldn't pick him. Having dissed the club like that, if you're really the strong manager, you don't pick him.
Do you think that he's got it in him to do that?
No.
And Luke Donald has named Eduardo Molinari as one of his vice-captains for Europe's 2027 Ryder Cup golf defence. He'll resume the role for the second time after being part of victories in Rome and New York.
Talk Sport News.
A funeral director who gave bereaved families the wrong ashes has admitted 30 counts of preventing a lawful burial, and Reform UK's housing spokesperson has been sacked over comments about Grenfell Tower. Emma has more at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Our expert technicians can't do your spring cleaning, but they can keep your car's inbuilt safety tech in top nick. Visit quickfit.com and book today.
Mainly clear skies and average temperatures this evening. Rain spreading southeastwards across the UK overnight.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Drive on talkSPORT. It's me, Andy Goldstein. No Darren Benton alongside me, but who cares when you've got the superstar that is Sir Stuart Pearce alongside you? How are you, Stuart?
I'm very well. As soon as the phone went and your number flashed up, Mr. Gold member, I thought, I'm off the bench and I've got a gig. Delighted.
I love to hear that. By Jingo, have we got a show for you today as Man City seek assurances over Guardiola's future? We'll be asking whether a Premier League without Pep could be more interested. Stuart Pearce will give us his take on the international breaks as we go through the 5 key talking points for Thomas Tuchel, and we're looking ahead to the return of domestic football this weekend. But should it really be returning with the FA Cup? All that, including Kevin Atchard joins us for this week's Drive Worldwide, and of course we'll look ahead to a big old Easter weekend of EFL football, and there's more, and we'll get Stu's take on the mission to the moon. Producer Joe is very excited about that. Oh, it's around the moon, really. All that and more coming up in today's Drive Time show. You can get involved if you're on 03717 223344. Get involved is my advice. Get involved.
Thank you very much and good night.
Oh, well, only just started. How are you, Sir Stuart?
I'm on good form. Yeah, all well, thanks.
Great, thank you for turning up today. It's very kind of you. How bizarre is this? I mentioned it ever so briefly to you, and I thought, actually, I'll wait till we get on air. So I found a picture that popped up on... I don't use Facebook, but I've got an account. Don't bother trying to friend me up, everyone. I don't use it. But it popped up on my iPad this morning. A picture, bizarrely, 11 years ago to the day, you and I working together. And there's a picture. And I've just posted another one of you and I doing the same pose. I think we look younger and better now.
I think you're right. And by the way, since that show back then, 11 years ago, I think we've actually worked together probably 4 times.
Is it that many?
Well, not much more.
I was told it's a maximum of 1 every 3 years.
That's about 4.
Okay, this is the
works
one.
Well.
Yeah,
works well.
It's lovely to see you.
We haven't changed though, have we? Well,
I don't think we have. I've got a beard now. I didn't have one then, but that's it.
Yeah, I'm still trying to grow one. I haven't shaved since 11 years ago, but that's normal.
But your hair's still exactly the same.
Yeah. There's not much change since the 80s. But
it could have gone.
Mullet then, but
it could have gone, right?
Yeah. It's not in our family. All our family have got a good head.
How old are you now? So you're quite
I'll be in a couple of weeks 64.
I mean, that is unbelievable.
And
it feels 64.
No. There's a level of stupidity that underlines everything with me that keeps
you
me
young. I like that. But do you get up in the morning with aches and pains, or do you feel like you did? Like mentally, do you feel as though you assume when you were 30 or 40?
Yeah, I've been really lucky from a playing career. I don't really suffer from too many aches and pains, apart from if I do any road running, which I don't do anymore because of it. My groin aches a little bit. I'm so left-sided, and everything I've done from tackling to kicking the ball was done with an element of violence. So it's no surprise that your groin will be a little bit barky on that side. But apart from that, okay.
You ever put weight on?
I used to play, my playing weight was about 12 stone 12, and I'm about 13 stone 4 now, something like that. So
because you're slim as a rake, right?
Yeah. It's not.
Is that a struggle for you, or you're lucky?
I don't drink. I stopped drinking about 24 years ago, which keeps the weight down. But I eat like a horse. I love food and eat ludicrously. I used to have a really good diet as a player, and then the day you retire, you're on the motorways eating rubbish and God knows.
Do you have breakfast?
Always.
You have lunch?
Yes.
Dinner?
Yes.
All right.
And snack as well. If I've been to a game and
chocolate?
Yes. Biscuits, yes. And I eat everything. There's nothing I don't eat. That's my badge of honour. There's no food substance that someone could put in front of me and say, you know what, I don't like that. I'd eat everything.
It's unbelievable. I have to work at mine.
Yeah.
I go for walks with the dog. I go to the gym. I play golf. And I never have breakfast. My first meal of the day is 2 p.m.
Is it really?
And my last meal of the day is 7 p.m. So there's a 5-hour window where I'm eating. That's it.
See, I would come in from games. If I'd done a night game, I'd come in at midnight and have something to eat and then go to bed.
Wow. Yeah, but that's because you're buzzing, right? The adrenaline.
No, I might have driven from Liverpool.
Oh, I see. Right.
And still get in the door and have maybe a couple of Weetabix and go to bed, or a sandwich, or a couple of bits of toast and go to bed. It's a disgrace, really, and I know I shouldn't.
Yeah.
But I get peckish.
You're lucky you don't suffer from acid reflux.
I don't know what that is, but yeah.
But that's when the acid that is in your stomach to get rid of the food comes up your gullet because you're eating late.
Well, to be fair, I always get off the kip straight away, so I wouldn't know if it did.
No, but then you wake up in the morning, your throat will be sore. I've been suffering from that.
I don't get that.
Yeah, no, you're a lucky boy. Yeah. You're a lucky boy. Talking of lucky, apart from us being lucky that you're here, I the last time we did a show together, we were talking about your shirts from the World Cup in 90 and 96. And I said to you, when we were walking,
bring them in.
And you said, well, the next time we give me a little reminder.
Yes.
So I text you yesterday, a reminder.
Yeah.
And of course, you've forgotten them.
No, I didn't forget them. Forget them is when you leave the house and you think, oh, I should have bought those shirts. I knew I should have bought the shirts, but couldn't be bothered to get them.
Oh, well, that's different. Okay.
That's not forgetting.
But you've bought something in.
I've bought a piece of memorabilia in that was easy at hand for me to bring in. So I've bought that in for you.
And now
today.
I said to you, don't tell me what it is.
Yes.
And we're going to turn it into a little feature, 4:30. I'm going to have 10 questions.
Yep.
You can only answer yes or no. I'll try and work out what it is. And either way, you'll show us at the end.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, we'll do that. That'd be fun.
Fair? This might be better than shirts. Everyone's 2 a penny shirts. I come out the underground.
Shirts.
No, not
shirts.
You come out the underground station. Someone's waiting outside talkSPORT Towers with a shirt. I signed a shirt in reception. Everyone's got a shirt.
I know, but they haven't got your shirts from 1996.
No, it's a fair point.
Do you know what I was thinking, actually, right? I was thinking that what would happen if you came in and you had the 2 shirts and you went, yeah, I know how much they mean to you, you have one. How much would I go, Stuart, I can't, before I went, okay, I'll take it.
I don't think I can't would come out your mouth. I think you would snatch them.
No, I would go, oh, Stuart, I can't take it, and hope for you to say, take it, and then I go, okay.
Yeah, and next day, they'd be on the internet, you'd knock them out. I'd be proud.
I wouldn't do that. There's no way I'd wait 24 hours.
I'm
be instant.
Disappointed. I thought you might invest some money in a pair of trainers or something, you know?
Do you know there's no room for trainers. Do you know Bobby Gould very kindly, years and years and years ago, I'm going back probably 10 years, gave me, he probably doesn't even remember he's probably been looking for this, gave me the tracksuit he wore as a sub for West Ham in the 1975 FA Cup final. I think they played Fulham. I think they might have lost. Lost 2-0, was it?
They won. They beat Fulham.
They beat Fulham 2-0, right? He's given me the tracksuit top that he wore as a sub that day, and he framed it for me and brought the whole thing in. I've still got that.
Yeah, that's some going, isn't it?
That is.
He was the manager who brought me from non-league into the league, Bobby Gould.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Where were you playing, Weymouth or something?
Wildstone.
That's it, yeah. Same thing, isn't it?
No, don't even.
Don't you dare.
Well,
I'd never upset you.
I'll tell you who used to play at Weymouth, Andy Townsend.
Yeah.
And centre-half for Tottenham, Graham Roberts.
Oh, wow, okay.
Both of them come through.
Oh, wow.
Through Weymouth.
Okay, they produce superstars.
Yeah.
Quick question. We're going to go massively over, Joe. Sorry. When you were playing non-league football, did you come up against other big-name players back then that since made it as much as you did in the game?
When I first got in Wildstone's team, we played Altrincham. In goal for them was Alex Stepney.
Oh,
He
my.
was 40.
Yeah, but that would have been the end of his career, right?
That end of his start of mine.
Yeah.
So there
That's
would have been one.
unbelievable.
Peter Taylor, the Tottenham winger.
Yeah, of
Do you
course,
remember
yeah,
Peter?
yeah, yeah.
He played for Maidstone, played against him. There would have been a multitude.
Yeah.
You know,
I just wondered if you were familiar, you remembered all the players that went on to make it as you did.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, Vinnie Jones come from the same non-league team as myself as well. Beckford, Jermaine Beckford.
Okay.
They come from
That's cool.
Wildstone as well.
Are they
So
still
the three
going?
of us. Well, Vinnie's in Hollywood.
No, I meant the club.
Well, this ridiculous statement. I was at Wildstone on Saturday.
Yeah.
We beat Marine in the FA Trophy semi-final. We're going to Wembley on the 17th of May. I shall be there.
Well, how about that for a link?
So in the FA Trophy final. Not been to the Trophy final since 85. I'd left in 83.
That's
years
amazing.
later,
That's
they
amazing.
won the trophy.
I got last question about FA Cups.
Okay.
Right? I was watching, you know, sometimes you go down a rabbit hole on YouTube and you just watch FA Cup final or boxing match of yesteryear.
Yeah.
I forgot that in the old FA Cup finals, the managers walked the teams out, right?
Yeah.
So Cloughie would have walked you out with Forest.
With Terry Venables.
Terry Venables, right?
91.
Do they, this is my quick, do they still do that, the managers? They don't, right?
I would have thought they did. I can't remember. I would think they would as part of the occasion.
Joe, do the managers walk the
would think
teams
they
out
would.
for the
I
FA
would
Cup
say yes,
final?
if it was a
They
quiz.
still do, you sure?
I'm sure.
They still do that. Okay, good. Tradition that stays with football. Right, Stuart Pearce, you and I have lots to talk about today, but we're going to start with Man City. They've asked Pep Guardiola for assurances over his future. So, simple question, will he be there next season?
Their atypical season contains a familiar sight. Another day of Pep-inspired glory. So the day when Arsenal fans crave the end of their own long wait. It's Pep's longest barren spell that is over.
Guardiola will have that City team absolutely up and pumping that they can still win the league.
I said in the beginning, it's so difficult to win titles. It doesn't matter which one. It's not a Premier Champions League, I know that, but it's so difficult. The opponents are so good.
He's been there for 10 years. He's never stayed anywhere more than 3 or 4 years. So let's hope he does, but who knows?
Who knows? Man City formally asked Pep Guardiola whether he plans to see out his contract. Now, he has a deal until 2027, but reportedly won't make a decision over his future before the summer. But the club would like him to let them know whether or not he'll be staying sooner rather than later. Can you, Stuart, can you understand why City would want to know now whether or not Pep's going to be there next season?
100%, without a doubt. You look at your playing roster and look at them and look and say, right, okay, where are their contracts? When are their contracts running out? The most important person at Manchester City Football Club, and has been for a number of years, is the manager, because he's that good. He's probably the best, arguably the best we've ever seen in world football, arguably. And if you can't, you'd want to secure him, because what happens after the dynasty, you know, we saw Alex Ferguson leaves Man United. They ain't won the league since, by the way. Klopp leaving Liverpool as well. Won the league, but there's been a downturn, potentially.
After Wenger left, there's a big drop-off.
Brian Clough at Forest.
Yeah.
You know, exactly, Wenger. These are icons of the game. I'm quite saddened when any of these managers, even though they're not my team, I'm saddened when they actually walk out. If you're Man City now, the one thing you've got to do is either secure him on a longer-term contract. That's first priority. If not, establish when he decides to leave and he calls that shot, and make sure you've got a replacement.
What do you do? Because he's obviously earned the right to make up his mind whenever he wants, right? He's always had it, from my understanding, Man City, short-term contracts.
Yes.
That's what he's happier with. Has he not earned the right to tell them when he's made his mind up? Like, for argument's sake, what happens if they say, Pep, we need to know now, and he says, I just don't know? What happens then?
If you're the football club, you can't do a great deal about that. The club at this stage, if not before now, have to ask the question of the manager. What is your viewpoint? Because we've been speculating on this radio show, I think, for at least the last 3 years, whether he's going to go. And people send me he's going. Is he going this summer? Did he go last summer? Whatever. I just think you've got to do everything you can as a football club to secure him and his signature. Doesn't mean a great deal. He could sign a longer-term contract if he wanted and still say, you know what, I've had enough.
Yeah, you're right.
Now I'm going. So the length of contract's irrelevant, but he's earned the right, but also the club have earned the right as well to ask a question of him.
Yeah. He changed football in the Premier League, right? His style.
Oh.
There was a time where strikers wouldn't be scared of having a shot, or even midfielders having a shot from outside the area, top right-hand corner, goal, bang, some real explosive goals back in the day. Football's changed a lot. Do you think if he were to leave Man City and were to leave the Premier League, that style of football will come back or not?
I think in some ways it is a little bit in regard to long throw-ins of coming back into the game, more direct play. If we done this at Nottingham Forest, the ball's on the centre spot, you're taking kick-off and you kick it out of play in the corner flag, Brian Clough would probably substitute you if you'd done that and thought it was a good idea to play for territory. Teams do it now. I would have said that was unbelievable. We done it with Graham Taylor in 1991. We played away in Turkey and he asked Andy Gray, the Crystal Palace midfield player, we're going to kick off and you're going to kick it out of play in the corner flag. People think that these are new inventions in the game.
No, that's right.
The England team done it in 1991. You thinking, Christ, that's incredible. I've never seen anyone ask me to do something like that before. But, yeah, it's crazy. What goes round in the game goes round. But I tell you one thing. I remember leaving Manchester City one night. They had played Real Madrid, and I think it was a semi-final. And I'd never, ever seen football played like I saw that night. It was incredible. And I thought to myself, wow, he's responsible for that. He's responsible not just for results, but a style of play that was so incredible, it wowed me. I don't think I've ever walked out of a stadium and thought that is just... That spectacle was incredible.
The style of football he has brought to the Premier League. We are blessed. We really are.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to start off by taking your calls. Could we see a return of the so-called exciting football in the Premier League, or is it already coming back? And also, Man City fans, how much of a blow would it be? I'm guessing the biggest one of all time, right? If your greatest ever manager, Pep, were to leave, either now or at the end of next season. And should he be informing the club of his future plans? Lots to talk about. One to dial. If you've never spoken to Stuart Pearce, now is the time to pick up the phone. 03717 223344. We'll be doing that next. And then from 4:30, we'll be playing the brand new game, What's in Stuart's Bag?
In terms of greatest Premier League managers, because if he does leave, he will go down as one of the greats.
Yes.
What's your top three?
Sir Alex, Pep, and Jose for me.
What?
They're
Jose Mourinho?
Yeah. What do you mean, Jose Mourinho?
Not Arsene Wenger?
Arsene Wenger was in the conversation.
Oh, you're putting Jose in there?
Yeah, of course I'm putting Jose in there. 5.5 years, three Premier Leagues. Arsene Wenger had
Premier League all-time manager.
22 years he was there, Arsene Wenger. Won 3. Jose, 5.5. Won 3.
I mean, in terms of...
Sir Alex, because he was there...
Sir Alex is no question, right?
He's the Don. He is the Don.
Yeah.
Right, he's the Don.
Yeah.
Pep's number 2. Can't argue. Because it's longevity as well. How long's he been there, Pep? Is it 9 or 10 years? I think I'm right in saying that. If it's not 9, it's coming up for 10.
26.
Okay, so 10 years he's got. Okay.
Yeah.
He's won 6 Premier Leagues.
Yeah.
Come on. That's...
Yeah, no, but Arsene Wenger changed football.
Oh, he did?
Arsene Wenger, when he come to the Premier League, he revolutionised the game. He completely changed the way we play now, the way the Premier League is, what it's become.
Without
really and truthfully, was down to Arsene Wenger.
Without question, because Arsene Wenger changed the...
Driver talkSPORT, me, Andy Goldstein, and I would imagine the reason for this tune, Stuart Pearce alongside me. This is something box. Yeah, something box. This song is called the Something Box.
Yeah.
No? Is it? Is it not?
It's Rock the Casbah.
Casbah, I thought it was Casbox. Okay. Rock the Casbah. Who sings this?
Clash, of course.
Of course. Yeah, but that's your genre.
Of course.
If they're your favourite, right?
No.
One of them.
Stranglers, one of them.
If the Stranglers were playing every night for 7 nights at wherever,
100%.
and they said, Stu, do you want to come every night?
Yeah.
You go.
Yeah.
What's the length of time you go? 14's too many.
I'm a bit nervous now because I've been seeing them since '77, right? If we take in the Stranglers as an example,
yeah,
and they might be calling it a day anytime soon. It's like Pep. You never know when he's going to pack in. So do I go and watch his team play because Pep's going to pack in if I'm a City fan?
Okay, it makes good sense.
You don't miss a game in case that might be your last gig you ever see.
Do you know them?
Yeah.
And can they not speak to you and go, Stuart, we are going to call it today. Next Thursday's our last one?
Well, so you want to cram in as many as you possibly can.
Yeah, but do you know that?
But what?
Have they spoken to you and said, he's going to be our last one next Thursday?
It'll be close to it. No, they've not said next Thursday is the cut-off
No,
date.
but have they told you when it is, the cut-off?
Yeah.
All right.
But, okay.
And if you see Stuart Pearce at a gig, you know...
Yeah, it could
coming
be
to
your
an
last.
end. Yeah, wow, that's sad.
She's worrying.
Yeah. Okay. On that note,
yeah,
we're taking your calls. Could we see a return of exciting football in the Premier League if Pep leaves? Gary, he's first up. He joins us. Gaz?
Hi there.
How you doing?
Good to talk to you, mate. I'm fine. I'm good. Lovely sunny day down in West Sussex.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
Let's hope it stays for the whole weekend.
Yeah. I'm finding we're going back to what I call boring football at the back. I mean, the City-Arsenal game. I'm actually a Southampton fan, so I'm pretty thrilled that we got so far, although we'll probably get thrashed this weekend. But the City-Arsenal game, I turned off after the halfway and watched ladies rugby because it was so boring, and so was the England game, this constant possession football. Whereas what I've liked about Pep, he's created a style where people do go forward, and it's a lot of it's playing from the front, getting the ball into the box stuff. My team have done well this year because the manager there, and like two of the previous ones, is getting the ball forward and worrying defenders, getting in their face. And I think that's what I like about exciting football. The girls do it. The England ladies do it brilliantly. I just wish the men's, the Premier League would do it because I find Match of the Day boring these days. Wow. I really do. And it's a shame because there's some super players in it from, British point of view and obviously overseas. But I do find it pretty dull. And all they're doing is passing it back. Yeah, back to the goalie, back. Never get over their halfway line. And you think you're never going to break a team down and win if you're doing that all the time.
Yeah.
Gaz, do you not think that it's probably just run a cycle? I mean, when Pep come in and started playing this level of football, everyone was so excited by it, and all the coaches at all the academies started copying it. Do you think it's like everything? It's just run its cycle, and we'll end up. We might be in a year or so's time. You're playing with 2 centre forwards once again, and whatever, and reinventing the wheel. Do you think that'll happen?
I think it will. I mean, Kane is still knocking him in Germany because they use him as an up-front striker, which is what a centre forward should be.
Didn't he knock him in for Spurs in the Premier League?
He did, and he knocks him in for England. I mean, it's a joy to watch. But the game last week, this week, whatever it was, I thought. I mean, the Japanese played a cracking game. They had us, and I thought we were so slow. The passing was bad. I hope that's not the A-team playing in the
No,
States. I just find this constant possession just does my head.
Okay, I get that. Gary, thanks for that. I think when we get to the World Cup, it'll be the A-team playing, not the B-team. I think we'll be okay. Andrew is a Liverpool fan. He's up next. Hi, Andy.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
Oh, good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I've got a question for Stuart. I know you did work with West Ham. Have you considered going into full-time management? Because when I listen to you talk about football and how the game should be played, you talk more sense than any other person I listen to.
Well, I've got to say, it's very kind of you to say so. Thank you.
Is this your agent that's phoned up?
Listen, I love football. I've always loved football, and I enjoy what I do now. And I left West Ham. It's coming up to 4 years now, and that was a really difficult call to walk away from working with Moisey and whatever. But for me, at my stage of life, it is the right thing to do. But I love football. I've got the Liverpool game at the weekend against Man City, and I'm generally excited to go and watch the game. Really excited.
Do you miss being in? Good call, by the way. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Do you miss being in the dugout? We've just seen Roy Hodgson return, right?
Yeah. I tell you what I do miss. When you've prepped a team all week and you get that result on Saturday and you've won, that instant fix at the end of the final whistle when you go in the dressing room and the camaraderie with the players, that's what I really miss. You also got to remember all the aggravation you have during the week as well, probably with players, with this, with that you've got to deal with.
Yeah.
There's downsides as well.
If you had got Forest had gone, I think they're on their 4th manager of the season, right?
Yeah.
If at any stage in that circus you would have got a phone call, can you help us out? Would you have gone?
The answer would probably be no, because I've been in there as a manager on a couple of occasions, once as a temporary and once in 14-15 as a full-time manager. So the answer would probably be no. I would do anything I could to help the football club out, but probably that might be a step too far, to be honest with you. But listen, I love football. I love watching football.
If a call came in for you to get back into the game,
I think the answer would probably be no.
Wow, okay.
If push comes to shove, because I know how all-encompassing it is, and I enjoy doing different bits and pieces like today and stuff like that, So
good. Well, football's loss is our gain.
Exactly that. Thank you very much.
And if you would have got back into the game, we wouldn't be playing what's in Stuart Pearce's bag in just a moment.
Exactly, and people want to play that game, especially yourself.
I really do, actually. If I get it right, do I keep it?
You can be a custodian of it.
For about 40 years?
I'll be dead by then, so you can have it. Yeah.
Okay, so...
I'll tell you what, you can have it for a year. And put it in your trophy room, because I've been in your toilet trophy room, haven't I? So put it...
Hold on, not that I'm aware of.
Huh?
No, you've been in my house. I mean, I'm completely unaware of that.
Yeah, I think years ago. Have you got your trophies in your downstairs in your toilet?
You've never been to my house, Stuart.
Have you got your trophies in your toilet?
I don't have trophies.
Okay.
Well, actually, I've got one, the talkSPORT Drive one last week. That's in the toilet.
All right, okay.
Yeah. Must phone my wife up in the break.
Yeah, we need to check that out.
Does this place ring any bells? I'm worried now. Still to come, we'll be getting Stuart's take on an underwhelming week for England and Thomas Tuchel. And we'll find out if he's actually been to my toilet. First, a bit of no Googling. We want to know which current Premier League manager has come up against Pep Guardiola 17 times throughout his career and lost every single time.
Come up against Pep and lost every time?
Every one of the 17 times. Don't answer it. The answer to that, and I know something everyone's very excited about, what's in Stuart's bag right after this.
If you look at the facts that Chelsea have done 600 million worth of transfers in the 25-26 season and paid 65 million agents fees. Now go look at Aston Villa. Aston Villa have done 70 million worth of transfers, 57 million worth of sales, and paid 38 million pounds in agents fees. So when you look at the ratios, you go, you did 120 million worth of business and you paid 38 million, which is about 25-26%.
Right.
Chelsea have done 600 million worth of business and paid 65 million. So whilst the numbers look horrible and in the scale of things enormous, in the representative terms of what business has been done, they're not enormous. Now, then you take the losses. Chelsea got 100, however they got it and however they concocted it, they got 125 million pounds worth of profit last year. We know how they did it. They sold their women's team and a whole raft of other things.
I'm going to get to that.
So the PS, well, that was what they were allowed to do, right? And in previous times,
I agree.
In previous times, Man City and Chelsea were allowed to build football teams with impunity, and Newcastle can't. So we all are a product of timing, and we're all a product of opportunity, and we're all a product of creative outcomes based upon the circumstances that we operate in the time that we operate them in. So I look at this and go, yeah, they've made 250 million pounds of losses, right? We are, if they're not worried about it and they believe they can cover the gap between the PSR and also the consequences of squad cap rules that they put into place, that they've got consequences on already, then that's their business.
But it's up to us to observe it. And if Chelsea are the biggest spenders on agents and the biggest spenders on transfers and have the biggest losses, how on earth can Egbali, Behdad Egbali, who you met recently, and to quote you, is one of the most impressive operators you've ever met in football?
One of the most compelling is what I said. Yeah.
Over the last few years, Formula One has gone from elitist and insular to a global entertainment brand. The transformation's down to American investment group Liberty Media, who cultivated a new image for the sport since buying it in 2016. Better access to drivers, improved content on social media, and tapping into the US market have given F1 a massive boost in both attention and revenues. But is everyone happy? The fans certainly are, as evidenced by Drive to Survive. Almost 7 million people per season have tuned in to get all the gossip and all the drama from the paddock. The extra exposure means the drivers can demand a higher salary too. In 2010, the top drivers were earning $20 million a year, which isn't bad. But now, the very best earn 3 times that, with Max Verstappen getting a whopping $65 million in 2025. But money doesn't always buy happiness. Some drivers, including Verstappen, don't like the pageantry the changes have brought about. In Las Vegas in 2023, Verstappen said the drivers were made to look like clowns, and the event was 99% performance and 1% race. Some purists who still watch the sport feel the same, and that the spirit of competition has suffered. But Formula One and Liberty Media don't look like slowing down anytime soon. So expect more races, major events and exclusive access in future.
Driver TalkSport, me, Andy Goldstein, the superstar that is Stuart Pearce alongside me. In a moment, we're playing What's in Stuart Pearce's bag and Who's Lou. But first, the answer to the question: which current Premier League manager has come up against Pep 17 times and lost every single one? Any idea?
I'm going to say Eddie Howe.
He's the wrong answer. I'll give you a clue. His surname is a colour.
Colour?
Yeah.
Professor Plum.
No. It's a medal you get in the Olympics.
Silver.
Marco Silva.
Marco Silva.
Yeah. Still to come, we're looking ahead to the weekend's FA Cup quarterfinals. All of those, of course, live right here on talkSPORT. Before we play What's in Stuart Pearce's bag, just moving on from Who's Lou.
Yes.
So if you join us late, Stuart Pearce has used the toilet of a talkSPORT presenter. We don't know if it's a former or current.
No.
But it's in a 5-mile radius of the old talkSPORT building.
Yes.
Have you got a picture of him in your mind?
Yes.
Okay. Can you describe that? Imagine like we're at the police station.
Yeah. Well,
Who's Lou?
Yeah.
What did he look like?
It was a sort of bedsit. I think you went through a front door and went into the loo, and then it had an upstairs part to it. And I'd done a podcast type thing round his flat.
Yeah.
That's
A
why I was
one-off?
in there. A one-off.
A one-off.
And in the loo was varying football trophies.
But like Sunday League trophies?
Yes, yeah. So he wasn't an ex-player.
Matt Ford?
No, I know Matt.
Oh, yeah, of course you do, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, it will come up. I've got a visual in my face, but I just don't know the name.
Colin Murray, you work with Colin?
No,
Not him,
not
okay.
Colin, no. But
people are guessing now in the gallery. This is now becoming a thing.
Yeah.
Okay. If you think you know the answer to Who's Lou, text in 828.
If I saw the face, I might be able to say
Wait,
that,
if you saw the
that was
toilet.
fella. If you could take me to the toilet.
If I showed you a picture of the toilet, would you get it?
As long as it had the trophies in the background, in the
Before you
toilet.
say something else. What kind of trophies? Okay. We'll get that. By the end of the show, we'll
All right.
find out Who's Lou.
Okay.
All right?
Throw some names at me. Get the production boys
yes.
to throw some names.
Get some names.
That have worked in this organisation. I've worked here at talkSPORT since 2013, 2014. So throw some names
All right.
at
Not a
me.
current presenter.
He might be.
All right. Okay.
But not a show not a regular show not for me.
Okay. All right. We'll go through it. We need them. People text in old school names to find out Who's Lou. Okay? I'll go through them in a bit. Okay. But now, of course, it's time to play What's in Stuart Pearce's bag. Yeah, the brand new game show where I, Andy Goldstein, yes, Wheel of Fortune, it's all we could afford. It's so short.
I did wonder, but well done. Well done to
It's
them.
very game showy, right?
Exactly.
I asked Stuart Pearce to bring in a couple of shirts. He didn't do that because he just couldn't be bothered, but he did bring in something and hasn't told me what it is, and it's in his bag.
Yeah.
Rules are very simple. I've got 10 questions, yes or no answers. If I work it out, I keep it forever.
No, you've got it for a year.
Yeah, and then I give it back.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's got to come back after a year.
Okay, I can only ask you 10 questions.
It means quite a bit to me.
Right, okay. Play the music down. Have you got tension bed music, Jack? Okay. Oh, look at his little face. Oh, I didn't think of that. Right, okay. Can you take Wheel of Fortune down? There you go. Okay. Question number 1, Stuart. Is it a medal?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's the end of my go.
Not at all.
Not at all, right. Okay, not a medal.
No, it's not at all either. No.
Is it a pendant?
Pendant? No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Did you win it?
No.
Oh, my goodness.
Not at all.
You didn't win it. Okay. Was the previous owner of it? Did it belong to a famous person?
No.
Is it a trophy?
You've asked that already.
No, I said, is it a medal?
No.
Oh, no, I did ask it, so that one doesn't count. So I've only had 4. Right, okay. Are there lots of them? That won't help me.
Loads. There's thousands.
Very much so.
Not many like the one I have.
Okay.
So there are literally thousands. Millions.
Oh, my, that don't help me. Can I wear it?
Yes.
Right, okay. Now that's thrown me because the size of your bag's quite small. So is it a shirt?
No. That's 8.
Does it protect you?
Yes.
Very much so.
Shin pads?
Correct.
That's it, I've done it.
On the 10th one, by the way.
I've done it.
Now, do you want to see them?
Yeah, you bet your backside I do. Okay. Stuart Pearce's shin pads? Oh, this is fantastic.
Now, story behind the shin pads.
Yeah.
My dad, when I first started playing football, took me to Wally Kilminster Sports Shop on Wembley Triangle, just down from Wembley.
Yeah.
And bought me my first pair of Adidas World Cup boots and a pair of shin pads. 1971 this was. I wore those all through school, all through my non-league career, all through turning pro at Coventry and at Nottingham Forest before I got sponsored by Puma that supplied shin pads.
Hold on, before you show them to me. By the way, if you've got YouTube, now's the time to turn it on. Questions for you before you show them to me.
Yes.
Did you wear it in the cup final?
No, that was after then.
I was so you're still at Forest, but you changed?
Yes. Probably in about 86 was when I finished wearing
When
these.
did you make your England debut?
87.
Oh, okay. So they weren't more international level. But these are your... I mean, this is quite unbelievable you bringing these in.
I've had these since I was 10 years old.
Right, there ain't, by the way, there ain't no way they're leaving this office in anyone else but your bag, by the way. There's no way I could handle that pressure. So, that's very kind of you, but let's have a look at that.
There they are.
Let me hold them.
They're a little bit whiffy. They had white horse oil in those days. You know?
No, they smell like...
You can smell non-league football.
Yeah,
you can smell a league debut in there.
Let me just hold them up. Can I have both of them just for a moment?
They had the ones with the cane inside, you know? The kids behind the screen, never seen these before in their life.
Stuart Pearce's shin pads.
They must have played best part of...
That's unbelievable.
Close to maybe 1,000 games, maybe.
That's unbelievable. There is no... What's in them?
Cane.
What does that mean?
They're sticking out the bottom. Literally cane. Sticks.
Oh, I see. Like bamboo type of thing?
Yeah.
Wow.
That used to be...
What year did you get these? Remind me again.
71.
97. We're over 50 years old.
Oh, bloody
56 years.
My goodness.
55 years. Yeah, 55 years.
Wow, I didn't realise.
They really do smell of Sunday League football and the 70s.
Yeah.
Don't know. I'm obsessed now with smelling your shin pads.
I thought I've got to bring you something
brilliant.
in.
Yeah.
It might be more interesting
I'm
than
really
just a
delighted
shirt.
you did. I'm really honoured you did. That's fantastic. There's no way that I could take them even for 5 minutes, let alone a year.
I didn't think you'd do that to me, you know what I mean? But
yeah, because they're quite small, those shin pads, right?
They're very small.
Let me just measure them up against the part of my body. Calm down, everyone. If you're not watching on YouTube, they are just under the length of my hand, right? I've got if I'm playing golf, I have a medium-sized golf club, and they come up to just before my nails start if you put them at the bottom, right? So they're really small shin pads. What do you make of the shin pads that the footballers, because you were a kid when you were wearing them, when you started off wearing them?
Yeah.
So they would have covered most of your shin.
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
When I was a man and turned pro, these were pretty small.
Well, why? They would have done they would have not protected you whatsoever.
No. But bear in mind, they wouldn't have protected you because in non-league days, the tackles used to go way above your knees. That they were never anywhere near your shins.
Right.
Trust me on that.
So why didn't you change to bigger? Because you're Stuart Pearce, right?
I never liked big things on my
on your shins.
On the shins, or even with shorts. I didn't like them down my. When the long shorts come in.
Yeah.
It always seemed restricting. I didn't like it.
Okay.
So,
what do you make of the players now that wear tiny shin pads?
I can understand why they do, because they don't like too much on. I used to wear small ones. The ones Puma supplied me from 86 onwards were probably slightly smaller than that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I broke my shin for the second time that I upgraded, and ended up at a pair of shin pads akin to RoboCop.
Yeah.
To make sure
I know exactly what you're talking about. I used to only use them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you? It's fascinating you brought them in. Do you collect a lot? Do you keep a lot of your old stuff?
Yeah.
England shirts, you got them?
Yeah.
Like your FA Cup losers medal, for example, you keep that?
I would never ever give any medal away that I've ever won. I've got every medal. I mean, bear in mind, probably 5 months after getting those shin pads, I won my first medal as a goalkeeper, and I've got all of those alongside every medal I've ever won.
As a goalkeeper?
Yeah, it's my first medal at school.
I didn't know that. Is that the common knowledge? You were a goalie?
I was a goalie in Sunday League football, but I used to have to play under an assumed name because I was a non-league footballer. So I played as a Russian goalie called Yak Jensen.
Are you joking?
No, in the West Fulham district.
Who came up with that name?
Well, the name of our team was Dynamo Kingsbury Kiev.
Okay.
Right?
That's amazing.
So we I needed to play alongside my mates because I was a non-league player under contract. I couldn't play in the West Fulham District on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
So I thought, how am I going to play? So I ended up getting my own kit. So I played in orange and black with the name, the one spelt out Jensen down the back. No one had their name on their shirt in those days.
Yeah.
So Jensen spelt out the one on my shirt. I had CCCP across both knees.
Because that was the old Russian.
The old Russian thing. And I used to play in goal, and I used to go up for every corner, every free kick, irrelevant to what state of the game it was. So I used to go out. It was the first minute of the game.
Yeah.
I'd go and take the free kick on the edge of the box or go up for a corner. It was carnage on a Sunday morning. Good fun.
That's amazing.
Or I used to go out and, if the opposition had a corner, tossed it in the box, I used to go and catch it and throw it out to myself and run down the wing. So you can imagine what that was like on a Sunday morning.
That's amazing.
So,
it's interesting you mentioned free kicks. We're going to talk about your free kick in that FA Cup final a bit later on as well. So we've got what a wonderful start to the show. Brilliant. If you missed any of that, you need to see Stuart Pearce's shin pads. It'll be on the YouTube channel as well. You're listening to Drive on talkSPORT with me, Andy Goldstein, and Jack Jensen. More from the two of us right after this.
Is it nigh on impossible, Frank, to keep a lid on the hype surrounding Moses at the moment?
No, it's not. And the Zone had a massive rating for the fight. I think it's their highest rating this year for it, so I'm told. So, you know, he's people are well aware of what it, you know, who he is and what a talent he is, and he showed that certainly on Saturday. It was a very mature, you know, performance with a very durable, tough guy. And he'd done a job. He'd done a magnificent job. And, you know, look, that's the future of boxing. He's the future of heavyweight boxing. And I'd have no problem tomorrow making him with Mr. Usyk. I'd make it in a heartbeat tomorrow.
Question, Frank, for you. I mean, we had the other day on Talk Boxing Nikisa Badarian, who I know you'll know, and he talked about, and you don't need to be taught how to manage and match fights, right? That's not what I'm making the point here. I'm sort of sense-checking what he said. His attitude was, he would, if he was managing Atomic, it'd stick him in with Andy Ruiz in Madison Square Garden, because it gives an opportunity, A, to put him in against another decent fighter to give him another learning curve, but also breaks him into America by doing something Anthony Joshua couldn't do, which is knocking out American heavyweight that has some repute. Is that got some sense in that thinking?
Sorry, who was it who said that?
Nikisa Badarian, you know, Jake Paul's promoter. And,
and Nikita's a very good promoter, very, you know, and he knows what he's doing. We will be going to America. That's obvious. That will happen this year, and who the opponent is, we'll see. If it's Ruiz or any, I haven't got a problem with him fighting any American fighter at all.
Sharper talkSPORT, me, Andy Goldstein, Yak Jensen alongside Stuart Cam. Will be joined by Kevin Atchard for a drive worldwide. I mean Stuart Pearce, of course. Time now for this.
Paddy Power on talkSPORT. With Paddy's Super Sub, your new bet rolls over to the new player coming on. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Yeah, time now for today's bet builder with the friends of Paddy Power. Let's welcome Fern Buckley to the show. Buckers.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Not too bad.
Where are we? What room are we in? That's a strange angle. Where are we? What are we doing?
It's another office room. I've got this thing about finding the blandest room possible when I come on a bet builder for you. Just to, yeah, look at that. Nice grey wall.
Beautiful. Well, it's great to have you on the show. Thank you as always for coming on. We are looking forward to Saturday evening's FA Cup quarter-final. Southampton play Arsenal. Before we talk about our runners and riders, can you remind everyone how the bet builder works and, of course, the charity that will benefit when we get this right? We've been awful recently.
Of course. Yes, we have. Yeah, we've all made some picks across different markets, added them all together, got some overall value, and then Paddy Power, they've chucked a tenner on it, hoping we get it right, because if/when we do, it all goes to the Attitude Foundation.
We need to. Right, it's a 5-leg bet builder. These are our picks. I've gone for the simple, obvious one, Arsenal to win.
Yeah, it's the most popular pick as well on Paddy Power. Head-to-head, they've been dominant in the last 2 matches against Saints. They've also never lost an FA Cup tie against them. And although Saints are flying this season, there's a pretty big gap in quality. And also, Saints might be focusing on the Championship, the promotion there. So Arsenal might just edge them out. So a victory is at 2-9.
Can I ask, sorry to put you on the spot here, is my Arsenal to win a 90-minute bet?
I believe it is,
Okay,
yes.
right.
It should be a 90-minute bet, yes.
Next up is Stuart Pearce. Stuart, what have you gone for?
I've gone Gyökeres to score at any time.
You can always guarantee he's going to be in a bet builder for us because he is just flying, isn't he? He's scored 8 goals in the last 12 matches, but off the back of some heroics for Sweden, scoring a hat-trick against Ukraine and the winner against Poland. So for him to score any time in this match is in at evens. He's a super sub as well, so if for any reason he comes off, Paddy Power, protect your bet.
Producer Joe is up next. He went through the pain barrier this morning, had a tattoo on the sole of his foot. Why he's done that? Oh, there's nowhere left to tattoo, I suppose, but I don't know why he's done that. Oh, bless you. Over 3.5 goals in the game is what he's gone for.
Yeah, well, the last 3 meetings between these two sides, they've seen at least over 2.5 goals. And although we're looking for an Arsenal win, Saints are on a roll. They scored in 16 consecutive matches across all competitions. So, yeah, over 3.5 is probably fair. It's on Paddy Power at 5-4, and it feeds into the people's bet very nicely.
Right, 3 down, 2 to go. Next up are the people. They've gone for what?
20 to score. And, yeah, I think
It's gone into a robot there. While we try and sort that out, let me tell you that people have gone for both teams to score. We'll get Fern back. That's what the people have gone for. And Fern, her selection is for over 3.5 goals. So while we're dialing it back, let me tell you that I went for Arsenal to win. Stuart's gone for Gyökeres to score at any time. Our producer Joe has gone for over 3.5 goals in the game. Fern, before she became a Dalek, went for both teams to score. And Fern went for... Oh, no, that was the people, sorry. And Fern went for over 3.5 goals. I'm hoping she's back to tell us what that means. Is she back? She is... Okay, our producer Joe needs 30 seconds. Why did you go for Gyökeres to score at any time, Stuart? Have you been impressed with his goal-scoring ability, or...?
I think he's on a decent, rich vein of form. I think Arsenal will win the game. He's done well, had a good feel about going away internationally, so his confidence will be high. The other bet that I was umming and ahhing, it was either going to be that or a player from either team to get sent off. And I thought the odds of that might be quite good.
Yeah.
But I've gone for Gyökeres.
Okay, I like that. Fern, hopefully he's back. Fern?
I am here,
Good.
yes.
Okay.
Sorry. So Gyökeres was saying he's at evens. Over 3.5 goals for producer Joe, isn't it? 5-4. Yeah, people, both teams to score. A popular pick as well. That's in at 10-11. And I've gone for over 2.5 cards because I think it could be a little bit tense this game. Here's a fun stat for you as well. St Mary's normally sees an average of 5 cards per game. So
Can I just ask, Fern, on my sheet it says that you've gone for over 3.5 goals. Nothing to do with cards. Who's got that wrong?
Oh, I don't know. I think we've done. No, producer Joe's gone for it. This is absolutely calamity, isn't it? It's Easter weekend and everyone's gone wrong.
Well, listen, you know what's going on, right? So I'll trust that you're
I do.
right.
Yes, I've gone for over 2.5 cards. That's at 4-9.
That's fine. Before I let you go, can you confirm the betbuilder insurance, the odds and the value of the charity bet one more time?
Yeah, it all comes in at 6.5 to 1. So from a £10 bet, you can get a return of nearly 75 quid on Saturday night. And if we get it right, of course, it's a charity bet. It helps out the Attitude Foundation. And fingers crossed we get it right and can bring ourselves back next week.
Fun. Fingers crossed. Have a lovely Easter weekend. We'll speak to you in a bit.
You too. Happy Easter.
And to you too. There you go. That's Paddy Power's Bet Builder for today. Minimum odds, 1 to 5 below. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Paddy Power on talkSPORT. With Paddy's Super Sub, your new bet rolls over to the new player coming on. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
When we come back, we will be finding out Stuart Pearce's views on all things international, England, of course, and we'll have some names thrown at you for Who's Loo, where we try to find out whose toilet Stuart Pearce went to have a podcast in. All right? So we do that and the best of talkSPORT and Drive By Wide. Lots coming up between 5 and 7 now. 2 hours left of today's Drive Time show with me, Andy Goldstein, and Stuart Pearce.
When we look at the end of the season, let's talk about the title race and the run-in. Manchester City and Arsenal going head-to-head. Arsenal, obviously, in the prime seat right now. They've got Bournemouth at home, City away, Newcastle and Fulham at home, a trip to West Ham before they host Burnley and have Palace on the final day. One extra game to be played by Manchester City. They're away at Chelsea. This isn't this weekend, of course. They're both playing in the FA Cup, but when the Premier League does return, Manchester City will be away at Chelsea. They'll host Arsenal. They're away at Burnley and Everton. They're at home to Brentford, away at Bournemouth, and then 2 home games to end the season against Villa and Palace. When you look at the run-ins, who do you favour?
Arsenal. I think they've got a better run-in, and from Arsenal's point of view, if they can't get that done, I'll be shocked. Yeah. I'll be shocked. I think they've been brilliant all season in terms of the way they've managed games, the way they've won games. Going back to that, they've just won games. They haven't been brilliant on the eye at times. Who cares in their camp? Who cares in that dressing room? Just get it done. And now when I'm looking at the run-in, that is a favourable run-in for Arsenal. They've got the Manchester City game. They can even afford to lose that. People are talking about the final the other day. Well, you can lose that game, and I still back you to win all of the other games anyway. So, if they don't do it, I don't know. If they'll never do it if they don't do it this season.
I think it has to be Arsenal, who have a 9-point lead at the moment. Obviously, City have a game in hand. It has to be done. They've won 4 games in a row, Arsenal, in the Premier League, by the way.
Derek Chisora has doubled down on his plans to retire after this weekend's fight against Deontay Wilder. He made the promise in front of his very first trainer, John Oliver, who says there's no good reason for Derek to continue.
Forget how people have boxed, gone too far, got hurt, end up in care homes. We don't need that anymore. We want to help our boxers.
You're listening to what John's saying here, Derek.
Yeah. That's why I said 15 I'm out.
Well, Tony Bellew echoes that sentiment, if in a slightly different way.
Oh, don't start, mate. He's promised me and he swore to me he'll stop. I'm not having it if he doesn't, mate. I'll finish him myself if he doesn't stop. I'll drag him out. Lads, have a great week and don't forget.
Head down and
Oh,
follow
the
through, old son.
toffees.
Head down, follow through.
That fight is live on talkSPORT on Saturday night with the build-up over on talkSPORT 2. Now, with Alexander Isak back in training and in contention to face City after more than 3 months out, can the £125 million striker turn his Anfield fortunes around? Gabby Agbonlahor says yes.
Once he gets up to fitness, maybe right at the end of the season, we'll see him back to some of his best. But definitely next season, Ali, a good pre-season, and I'm sure he'll be back to the Isak that we know.
Elsewhere, what ramifications should vice-captain Enzo Fernandez face for suggesting his Chelsea future is up in the air at the end of this season?
Now it's up to Liam Rosenior to show the other players that he's strong manager, because he shouldn't pick him. Having dissed the club like that, if you're really the strong manager, you don't pick him.
Do you think that he's got it in him to do that?
No.
talkSPORT presenter and Chelsea fan Andy Jacobs there. Now, a Championship rugby coach has been banned for 6 matches after being sent off for slapping a Worcester Warriors player during a game. Alan Paver, the joint head coach of Cornish Pirates, will miss the last 5 matches of the campaign and a possible playoff fixture. And Eduardo Molinari has been named as one of Luke Donald's vice-captains for Europe at the 2027 Ryder Cup. He'll take the role for a 3rd time after being part of wins in Rome and New York.
Welcome back to our number 2. Drive and talkSPORT. It's me, Andy Goldstein Stuart Pearce is alongside me. Yeah, we're still playing Who's Lou. We might have a lead on Who's Lou. I'll show you in just a moment a picture. Still to come, we'll be joined by Kevin Atchard for a bit of drive per wide. But now, it was an underwhelming couple of games for Thomas Tuchel and England.
Nakamura inside the penalty area. He's gone square to his right-hand side. And he's side-footed in by Karu Matoma. And Japan lead.
England didn't really offer anything until they actually went direct.
Yes.
And got Maguire burn on. They got lots of crosses in, lots of corners.
We turned into set-piece FC at the end. Phil Foden, he's going to be 30 at the next World Cup, and I don't think he's going to be going to this one. So
wow.
I think his peak years, we won't be seeing him at a World Cup, which I think is such a shame.
And it's victory for Japan. And England are booed off. A really inauspicious pair of games in March.
Yeah, England, of course, they played their last 2 games before Thomas Tuchel names his World Cup squad. They were held to a draw against Uruguay. That was last week before losing 1-0 to Japan on Tuesday night. They were, of course, missing some key players through injury. Thomas Tuchel spoke to talkSPORT after the Japan game, and he was asked if his side are too reliant on Harry Kane.
Every team is reliant on quality players. That is something very normal. If you have a goal scorer like Harry Kane, everyone, Bayern Munich relies also on Harry Kane. So this is for me just normal. We won matches without Harry. We scored without Harry. This is absolutely possible. But like I said, we knew that this can be a difficult camp because of the quality of the opponents. We knew these are 2 very difficult exams that we have to pass. And it's better than having an easy exam and not knowing. Now we know, and we can take our conclusions.
Before we talk about Kane and England, etc., or we'll talk about England now, I was really stunned and surprised about the hoo-ha that surrounded England after the last 2 games. Both friendlies, both from I think the players' perspective, meant very little in as much that we're coming to the business end of the Premier League.
Yeah,
they've got bigger fish to fry. So a lot of the players that probably think they're a definite for the playing for the World Cup would have maybe looked at these games as a bit of a nuisance. and we didn't play a full-strength side in either of them. Yet so much has been made about how poor we were going forward, the lack of depth and this and that. Does it worry you at all? Because it really doesn't me.
Listen, I've been part of squads that have gone to World Cups and not performed particularly well on the route to a major finals. And also probably started tournaments not particularly well. Euro 96, Italy 90. Both of those I don't think we started particularly well, but got some rhythm and momentum. So I don't think it will have much. It would worry me a little bit, the amount of absentees, because I don't think we've had that for a long time with England. You know, I think the one good thing about Gareth, he managed to make sure there was a full turn-up scenario, and we know what it's like. I mean, I'll give you a stat here. I was part of a coaching setup at the FA that took an under-20s team to a World Cup in Colombia, and we had 56 pull-outs.
At what level?
Under-20s.
At what stage of the season?
It was pre-season. So all the clubs, because it was outside an international window, all the clubs said, you can't have him, you can't have him, you can't have him, to all the players. We had 56 players pull out that squad, and we ended up taking a team at under-21 level, under-20 level, to one of the best tournaments some of these kids will ever play in. You know, it's an incredible tournament, you know, playing in South America, prepping in Colorado, that type of thing. Brilliant for us as coaches. But for the kids, you know, Jack Butland was in goal for us, and Side Barinho and people of that ilk. But, yeah, just ridiculous pullouts. And they've addressed that over time. So I think this will be quite disappointing for him and the FA that they've lost so many around this time.
Can you blame the players? Arsenal, of course, famously have had quite a few players pull out, not just England players, but international over the last week and a half.
I think they've been pumped in the cup final. The players are feeling sorry for themselves. Some of them will have slight injuries. You'll find out this Saturday or Sunday, whenever they play, how many of them are back on a football pitch.
Did you ever, for whatever reason, not play for England when you were asked to join up the squad?
No. Once I was very close to it. I played at West Ham away. Cloughie bought me off. I was awful.
For West Ham?
No.
Cloughie, Forest, yeah.
Two of our players got injured. Two of my colleagues, Des Walker and Nigel Clough, got injured, so I was going to go and meet up on my own, and I thought, shall I? And Cloughie always give you an out. He said, look, if you want to pull out, I'll pull you out.
Okay.
And I never did. And that day, I weren't sure. We were playing Saudi Arabia away in a friendly.
What, in Saudi?
Yeah, in Saudi.
Yeah.
And I was so pleased I went. And it taught me a valuable lesson by not taking the easy option and not going. We flew out on Concorde, which was brilliant. You know what I mean? I mean, I enjoy travelling anyway, but go to Saudi on Concorde, it was a memorable trip. Played well, got another England cap. I remember coming back from there and thought, thank goodness I never pulled out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The fact that it even crossed my mind, I was almost...
Would you look down upon other players that did pull out of an England squad? If you met up with someone...
Yeah.
And you went, why weren't you here at the last squad? And he went, I just couldn't be bothered.
Yeah.
You would.
Well, put it this way, I've been disappointed with people like David Bentley, who pulled out on my under-21 squad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Many years ago. And, you know, subsequently we spoke about it and whatever. I can never understand anybody that would do that. And I've had to convince, by the way, this is not just an England-centric thing. When I was Man City manager, I remember Stephen Ireland wanting to pull out of an under-21, an Irish under-21 game, you know, and... I said, yeah, OK, I'll ring Don Givens and pull you out. And then I thought about it and thought, what are you doing? So I called Stephen Ireland back into my office and said, if you want to pull out your squad, I think you should be going. If you want to pull out, you ring him yourself. I'm not doing your dirty work for you. And I have to equate it. I think sometimes when you go into management, a management player, that they want to look after their players and... you know, not send them in. You have to check yourself and say, how much did it mean to me to be an international footballer?
When David Bentley pulled out, did he call you or his manager? Was it Spurs at the time?
Well, I'd got a phone call, firstly, from an FA board member that was at Blackburn at the time to pull him out.
Yeah.
Then I got a phone call from his manager, Mark Hughes, who was an international manager.
Yeah.
And then probably from Bentley himself, you know, to say, look, you know, I think he got picked for the England B team a couple of days before and just pulled out. And at that stage, when he pulled out, I couldn't bring another player in. So we went a player light. We couldn't even bring another player in. I'd put the squad into UEFA. So it's disappointing.
Would you, on the back of that, would you never pick a player like that again?
I wouldn't say never again, but if it was a marginal call between, and when I say marginal, I'm going to give a lot of flexibility to not picking him again. I would rather pick a player that I know I've got on side.
Yeah.
Always.
Okay, that's interesting. Let's talk about a player, an England player currently, but one we don't know whether or not he's going to go to the World Cup. Phil Foden. Tom Tuchel has admitted that Foden isn't guaranteed a spot at the World Cup.
Yep.
Played up front for England against Japan as a false nine. I'm a huge fan of Foden. I think he's a pretty special player, but there is a chance he might not make it. What do you make of him? What do you make of the fact that, again, he's been asked to play out of position?
I think the only reason he got asked to play in that position was because Harry Kane didn't make fitness. I think if Harry Kane would have played, Phil Foden wouldn't have played. So I think he's ended up playing in that position, maybe by default, let's say.
Yeah.
I think it was an experiment that Tuchel wanted to have a look at. He talked a couple of months ago about maybe if Harry's not fit, maybe a false nine, we might experiment with that. I think he had the opportunity to do that on Tuesday night, and I don't think it worked.
Mm-hmm.
I said before the game, I would have loved to have seen Gordon play down the middle, because I've been quite impressed with what he's done for Newcastle. I think if you don't fancy the likes of Watkins, Solanke and whatever playing down the middle, I think Gordon has shown me in games against Manchester City, against Liverpool, that he's a threat playing down the middle, running in behind.
Is he your number 2 choice behind Kane?
I would have liked to have seen him wear an England shirt and do it on Tuesday night, at least for 45 minutes. I think at half-time he had a great opportunity to have a look at Phil Foden doing the job, which I don't think he'd have been wowed by, and at half-time juggle it around and put Gordon as the front man on it, running the line on his own.
What players do you think may have played their way into the squad? A couple that are spring to mind. Harry Maguire, of course, came back into England, set up, and also Ben White was a surprise call-up as well. What did you make of both of those players?
I think with Maguire, yes, I think he's put big pressure, but club form's very good at the moment. He's put big pressure on Dan Burn. Both of them might go, but I think he's put pressure on Dan Burn especially.
Yeah.
He's done himself no harm. O'Reilly, potentially, as a left-back as well, as whether you'd have said, he was in my squad anyway or not. I think he's done well. I think it might be slightly too late for him, but I think if there's an injury, Garner might just,
good player.
Stake a claim. He's done extremely well this year. I think maybe the World Cup is coming maybe a month or another international get-together too soon. I think if there was another one, he could have staked a claim and maybe got more minutes. But certainly those, I don't see Ben White going. I think his favourites are Livramento and, more importantly for Thomas, probably Reece James. I think he's number one fullback.
I agree. Just quickly, because we're going to go into this break asking this question, but I'll ask you, from the 2 friendlies, what did we learn about England?
Well, what did we learn? I think sometimes our play is a little bit pedestrian and slow, I would say, without any cutting edge. And a great example to that was probably the Japanese goal. We turned the ball over on occasion in midfield and kept possession and went backwards and sideways on occasion with it. The Japanese turned the ball over off Cole Palmer in their own half and were really incisive in cutting through us and scoring an outstanding goal, I thought.
That PlayStation goal.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Just brilliant goal, I think we need to be more forthright in that respect. I think we learnt more about the negatives than the positives, like Phil Foden might have done himself a disservice. And I think it's tough on him because everyone's throwing his name to the fore all the time, The one thing, if you're going to leave Phil Foden at home, that might be looked at as a real positive on the grounds that, well, if you're going to leave Phil Foden at home, and as you said, fantastic player, you must be taking some talent to this World Cup.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. There's Stuart Pearce's answer to what have we learned from the England games over the last week and a half. You can have yours, so you can speak to Stuart as well, 03717 223344. And when we come back, we have a lead in Who's Lou. I'll be revealing who in Who's Lou after this.
Thomas Tuchel's thrown Foden's World Cup hopes into doubt with some comments that he made to the media, Gabby. Here's an interesting one. He was excellent in camp, but he struggles to show it on the pitch. He was so good in training, and I thought he will just surprise us. But yeah, he struggles to have the full impact. It was put to Tuchel that he could not take a struggling player to the World Cup. I can, he replied, but the question would be if we will. It's not a guarantee that he will come. Now, to be fair to Phil Foden, I think there's only about 5 or 6, well, maybe 5 or 6, but there'll be more, about a dozen guarantees.
Yeah.
But there'll be about maybe 6, 7, 8 that aren't guarantees. And I think Phil Foden has now come into that category, Gab. I mean, got to be concerned for him, don't you agree?
I think the problem for me, Ali, is that his form for Manchester City has been incredibly bad for Phil Foden. You know, he come on in the 90th minute, Ali, in the cup final against Arsenal. Got 0 minutes in both games against Real Madrid.
I know, mate.
In his last 11 games, Ali, he's only played a total of 183 minutes out of 990 available minutes. 0 goals this year. We're already in April, Ali.
Yeah.
And even for his country, Ali, he's not performed. He's only got 4 goals in 49 England caps. He should be at his peak now at 25. Never done it in an England shirt. And those comments from Thomas Tuchel, I look at them and I say, Thomas Tuchel likes you. He likes the career you've had. He likes you as a player. He's brought you into the squad, even though you didn't deserve to be in it from club form. And
Driver talkSPORT, me, Andy Goldstein Stuart Pearce, alongside, still to come, be joined by Kevin Ashard, a bit of driver. Why, just quickly, earlier on, Stuart Pearce thought he'd been to the toilet in my house, but you haven't.
I did. Yeah, which worried you, didn't it? From a personal hygiene point of view.
No, not that. It's just like, why is my wife? And I said, guess who's around here this afternoon?
Just popped in.
But, so a lot of people have suggested various presenters it could be. I've got a picture of one of them that it might have been Max Rushton.
Right.
Now, I've chosen a picture of him coming off the football field with a bloody nose, because that's how I like to picture Max Rushton. Is that him?
I'm pretty sure that was him.
So you went to Max Rushton's house?
I'm pretty sure.
And he obviously plays his football, so there would have been a lot of losers' medals in that toilet.
Oh, it was littered with them.
Yeah.
And by the way, most improved player was everywhere to be seen.
He buys them.
Which is humiliating, isn't it? Most improved player, if you get that award.
Yeah, that means you're useless, and you've surprised people, but you're still useless.
By just turning up.
Yeah, by just
the front to just turn up week in, week out.
I mean, you've just described Max Rushton to a T.
That was him. That was him.
Good, we've got there, right? Whose Lou was Max Rushton's?
Exactly. I'm just want to confirm that by checking out where his postal address is. Is it in the, a 4 or 5 mile radius of where we are at the moment?
Yeah. Well, he's now in Australia.
Is he?
Yeah, that's how far he's got to go to get some work.
Wow, it definitely must have been him, because I think the thing I done was for an Australian podcast.
Oh, there you go.
All the clues are there. We've
you
done
paid?
well.
You pay for you?
Of course.
Oh, good. Okay, bit of a type. Right. Before we go back to football, Stuart Pearce, last night NASA's, I think it's Artemis, is that right? Artemis 2. Artemis 2 spacecraft successfully blasted off and is now orbiting the Earth in the first crewed mission to the moon in half a century. I bet you didn't think we were going to do this today. They will remain in orbit for 24 hours as the crew carries out checks, and if all goes well, they'll get the green light to go around the moon. The mission should take them further away from Earth than any humans have ever been before. It's expected to cost $4 billion. First question to you. Does this excite you?
I'm a little bit intrigued by it, but is it a ludicrous waste of money? How have we polluted this planet so badly and want to go and do the same to somewhere else? I saw... This is what crosses my mind.
I like it.
You know, what the human race have done to Earth, I wouldn't welcome the human race on another planet anywhere in the solar system.
Okay.
I think we're doing them a massive disservice. The litter that I walk round and I'd get obsessed with litter being here, there and everywhere. And the Japanese fans come to Wembley, cleared everything up.
Love that.
That's how you should conduct yourself as a race. And then I watched the Artemis go up into space, and then all of a sudden it jettisons its panels, and I think, look, more litter.
You're right.
Yeah, I know.
More
I'm
litter.
right. I know. But I can understand.
£4 billion or dollars.
Well, this is the incredible thing. Could that money be better spent? Here,
well, it could be, right?
Tidying it up.
What are we going to learn from them going around the moon and then 2 years landing on it?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: do you believe in the 60s we did land on the moon for the first time?
Well, I still keep having a look at those flags, and are they waving and blowing? I know my flag blows on a regular basis, and I always look out and see which way's the wind blowing. Is it going to be chilly today?
I mean, there's no atmosphere up on the moon.
Exactly. So why
did it move?
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions like that.
A lot of questions. I like those questions out there that will never be answered.
Yeah, like the one where the astronaut's facing the camera and his face is lit up, yet the light source is behind him.
Yeah, and I would also say as well, Trump's hair doesn't move.
Does it not?
No, because he sprays so much gear on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He doesn't spray. You know, your
Goldstein's golden
send
paste.
him some of your
I
stuff.
don't want him using Goldstein's golden paste.
No, it might be good for your profile, would it, or not? No, you're not having that one, are you?
Yeah.
But that doesn't move. So is there no atmosphere just above his barnet?
Probably not.
Or has he just got solid product?
Solid product.
Okay.
Good hairdresser.
Yeah, well,
I imagine. Do you believe in aliens?
If you're saying, is there another life form out there in...
No,
in
like E.T.
I think I do.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you think there's any on this planet?
Well, what is an alien? It's just somebody that might inhabit another planet too far away for us to see. The answer is yes.
I know, but you could get on another planet, like in Saturn, in some of the oceans, you might get like bacteria,
right,
which is living, but I don't really class that as an extraterrestrial.
Well, they think we were bacteria, don't they? Come out to sea and started to stand up and walk, and
if you believe
some of us will return to all fours at some stage. You know?
Do you believe there are aliens walking about? Like,
yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
What, in this country? In this
country?
In this
no,
world?
not in this. Not in this world.
Office.
In the solar system or beyond. Yes, I would say.
What, with spaceships?
I think there's more chance there is than there isn't.
All right. Are there UFOs about with aliens in them? You know, people go, just film one on me. Is that real?
I would say not.
Oh.
In regard to what we see and footage we see, but somewhere in the solar system, I think there are living. What they look like. Hopefully, they don't look like you and I, but they might look slightly better.
Okay. Would you ever go in space?
I think so. Why wouldn't you? I love travelling.
I know,
the
but that's
ultimate
different.
travel.
It's different, isn't it? You know, like Branson wants to do this Virgin Atlantic thing where you go up in your orbit.
Yeah, but you know what I'm like for £1 note, so I wouldn't be paying big money for
250 grand.
it. Definitely not. No chance. You know, if you're talking maybe 60 quid, I'll have some.
What, return?
Of course. And by the way, let me just show you this, fella.
Oh, he's gone into his trousers for this one.
I have. I've gone into my... Hang on a minute.
What's he looking for?
No, I've given it to Carol.
Oh.
My senior rail pass I was going to show you. So I'm going to want...
Why's Carol got it? How'd you get here?
2 for 1. You go couples travelling together.
Tight, isn't he? So how are you getting home?
Well, I've got my return ticket, but don't tell anyone on National Rail.
Why, do you need to show both?
Well, you're supposed to travel together, but she had to go home before I did today. But still, it's all the same. Anyway, I'd want 20% off, obviously, because I've got a senior rail pass.
Is that what you get now?
Yeah,
20%
I think it's
off.
20%. It's worth
Okay.
having.
If you went back on the train and they went, I need to see your ID, would you ever Google yourself and go, look?
In fact, I've took a picture. I've got a picture of it on my phone in case, and say, look, there you go. I'll show you in the break. All right.
Okay.
My senior rail pass.
I don't know if
or my two together pass. I've got both.
Are you proud of it?
Well, I pay enough in taxes, mate.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I pay enough in taxes.
Yeah. We're spending $4 billion going to the moon.
Well, exactly that. So they can get me from here to Princess Risborough cheaper, can't they? Then
20% off. I think they should be doing that. Still to come, we'll be looking ahead to the weekend's FA Cup quarterfinals. All of those live right here on talkSPORT. Time for a bit of no Googling. We want to know who's the only team to ever lose in the FA Cup final in 3 consecutive seasons. It's a good question, isn't it? We'll be talking FA Cup. I've got lots of FA Cup 1991 final questions for you as well. Famously scored a free kick.
I'm going to throw in here.
Oh.
And I don't know whether the answer is to consecutive losses. I'm not sure. I was at Newcastle and we lost twice in a row. I don't know.
No. One of them against us, Man United.
Yeah.
99. You were in the Newcastle team for that?
No. I was at the club, but Rude made me sort of...
he was rude to you?
Surplus to requirements.
Maybe talk about that a bit later on.
No, it's gone.
It's not Newcastle.
No, okay.
The answer to that and more from the superstar Stuart Pearce right after this live and drive on talkSPORT.
All right, Cundy.
Hello, matey.
How are you?
I'm all right, thank you.
How you feeling?
I'm all right. I'm okay, yeah.
Gone well?
Yes, so for those that don't know, the hair transplant last Thursday.
Yep.
A couple of days off.
Yeah.
Back in today.
You're looking well, mate. You look well.
So far.
You look hard.
Well, well, the head's been shaved, right? So there's always got the image, haven't you? Like of a bit of a thug.
Yeah, you look like you're going to be on like Football Factory or something.
Yeah. But look, it went well. It's such a weird process. I mean, you're in the chair for about 8.5 hours. It's all done.
I mean, that's hell for you, right? You can't.
Oh, mate. Well, they gave me. I fell asleep halfway through it. They gave me sedatives. Yes, I struggle to sit still, mate. But
struggle.
I struggle to sit.
Impossible.
Still. Yes, but they're sedatives, mate. They work their magic. But here we go. So the beginning.
Mate, I like it.
Well, we'll see.
It's the new Cundy.
The new version.
The new version of.
No, improved. Don't know about that.
It looks all right, mate. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, well, look, big shout out to the Wimpole Clinic. Thank you very much for what they did. And we'll see the results, mate, over the next coming 3, 4, 5, 6 months.
You've got to have a haircut, mate. What's the haircut look? What's the trim? You
Don't know.
Quiff?
Don't know what I'm going to go for, mate.
You look all right with the old skin.
Yes, I'm not having a hair transplant and then looking like this.
No?
I'm not. No, you don't have a hair transplant and shave your head.
It's all right, though.
Well, for the time being, I've got no choice. Yeah. I've got no choice. This is how it's going to be. All right, so there you go.
You're making me die.
Yeah, it's a bit. I mean, did it hurt? Obviously, during the operation, it's very weird, or during the procedure, very weird, mate. There was one at the back, so I had 3 people working on my head at one time, and I couldn't feel it, but I could feel them. It's all like when you had the anaesthetic and a dentist. You know, someone's working on doing something, but you can't really feel it.
Boxing. It's a sport that makes multi-millionaires out of the world's best fighters, but it's not as flush with cash as you'd think. We all see how much the likes of Tyson Fury or Canelo Alvarez make every fight, but that's not the case for those just starting out, or those who aren't even at that level. For example, if you've just turned pro and don't have a promoter, you have to sell your own tickets, cover the cost of the venue yourself, and pay the taxman at the end of it. You might not even break even, but if you do, you're looking at 5 to 10 grand max. A mid-tier fighter might make more like 10 to 50 grand, but you still have to give up half of that in costs. So unless you're fighting for a world title, it's tough to make money. One potential way of doing it, though, is being a journeyman. Here's former European champion talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver explaining how that could work.
They want to fight every week, and they can be going in against the prospects, so they can demand good money, and they might be demanding like 5 grand, 10 grand for a 6-rounder or something, because they're going in with a prospect. He gets through that, the journeyman gets through that fight, and he can fight again next week.
I mean, even so, it's not much, and you're getting punched in the face for a job. It's only really at the top level, i.e. fighting for titles, where you're earning up to 6 figures and can afford a diamond chain or that Ferrari. So boxing isn't a sport that allows you to retire at 40 and live a life of luxury. Much like a lot of other sports and jobs in general, it takes an awful lot of luck quite early in your career to really make it worth your while.
We want to know who's the only team ever to lose in the FA Cup final on 3 consecutive seasons. They lost to I've just said the name. They lost to Arsenal, Leicester and Liverpool. Chelsea lost 3 times on the bounce. 2020, 2021, 2022.
I wouldn't have known that.
No, me neither. See, every day's a learning day on this show.
Certainly is.
Still to come, we're looking ahead to the weekend's FA Cup quarterfinals, all of those live right here on talkSPORT. But now it's time for this.
Drive worldwide. Why?
Yeah, time for a Drive Worldwide, where we take a look at some of the biggest talking points from across the world of football. Join us now as our European football expert and guru, and of course, catchphrase king, as we say hello and good afternoon to Kevin Hatchard. Hi, Kev.
How are we, chaps? We well?
We are good. We're great. How are you?
I'm really good. I was very intrigued by your idea of jet lag going to the moon. I think there is such a thing as space lag.
Yes.
Because,
hold on, Kev. Don't pretend you think you know. You've Googled it in the break.
No, I knew a bit, and then I Googled to add a bit more to it. So I knew a little bit, because I used to be a space nerd when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So
you're still a nerd, just not a space nerd.
Oh, yeah. Exactly that. Just a football nerd now. That's all I've done.
I'll tell you what the giveaway was. When you started answering that, your arms were crossed, almost like you were defending the truth.
No, I do that all the time.
Oh, okay.
I'm a very defensive posture. I'm just used to it, you see.
Are you...
Not to show off the guns, I'll tell you that much.
Am I right in saying you're a Star Trek fan, the original Star Trek from the 60s?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
Absolutely.
I used to love that.
Did you?
Yeah.
I love Star Wars. Couldn't stand Star Trek.
Oh, my goodness, man.
Yeah. Here's a little fact for you. I'm sure you both know this. Do you know Beat Me Up Scotty was never said? Did you know that, Kev?
Is that right?
Oh, yeah, it wouldn't have been. It wasn't in the films either.
It was Scotty, Beam Me Up.
Ah.
Never said.
Is that like James Cagney, you dirty rat? Never said that.
No, he did say that.
Did he say that?
Yeah. You're thinking of Play It Again, Sam. He never said that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. These are all part of what's called the Mandela effect. Are you aware of that?
No.
Things that you think in your head happened but actually didn't.
Ah, okay.
Although this is actually happening, but you're probably thinking in your head, I wish it wasn't. Right. Let's start with Italy. Oh dear, Italy. They lost on pens to Bosnia earlier on in the week, meaning failed to qualify for the World Cup for the third time on the trot, which is nuts. Reports today suggest that Gattuso, understandably, set to lose his job. What is the latest with this, Kev?
Yes, what happened was, in the immediate aftermath of them losing that game on penalties, the FA president, Gabriele Gravina, said he's asked Gattuso to stay on, which seemed like a mad thing to do, really, when you consider that they failed to make the World Cup. And they've both now gone. Gravina has gone as the FA president, and also Gattuso is going as well. And so now it's a question of who's going to replace him. The Italian sports minister has said there needs to be a huge change in the running of Italian football. Gigi Buffon, who was part of the overall structure there, he's gone as well. He actually wanted to resign on the night, was persuaded to think it over, and he has now gone. And so they're looking at either bringing back Roberto Mancini, who left in very controversial circumstances because he walked out and went off to a very well-paid job in Saudi Arabia, but obviously had great success winning the Euros, so he could come back. Antonio Conte's been linked with another crack at it. We don't know how solid his relationship is with the bosses at Napoli. And Max Allegri has been linked with it as well. He's had a good season with Milan. They've been in the title mix in Serie A, maybe against all expectation. And so he's been linked with it too. And there's a guy that, even though people don't necessarily like the style of play, has been very successful and has won a lot of trophies.
You just cannot believe that Italian football, from the 80s, the powerhouse it was around the world, has come to a stage where 3 World Cups in a row and they've not qualified. I would have said to you that was physically impossible, especially with the extension of the amount of teams that are in the World Cup nowadays. Incredible.
And also a Euro win in the middle of that.
Yes, amazing.
Which is insane. Do you think there's a problem with Italian football at the moment, Kev?
I think there's an argument to be made about some more young players coming through, but some of the youth teams have been very, very good. And I look at, somebody like Palestra, who played at right back, I thought was absolutely outstanding. They do have some good young players. Pio Esposito, I think, is a really promising young striker. But to put him first up in the penalty shootout, I thought was a mad thing to do for a player of that little experience. I know he's got quality. I know he's played Champions League. I know he's probably playing for the team that's going to win Serie A this season, but I thought that was a crazy thing to do. I think it's just a series of really bad mistakes, and I think the coaching has a lot to do with it. Ventura, who was in charge when they first messed up getting to the World Cup, he was a disaster. You look at Spalletti getting the job. He never felt suited to international football because the way he wants to play is quite complex and the players never really understood it. And then you bring in Gattuso and his record is appalling, quite frankly. I mean, if you're looking for a top manager, he's absolutely not that. So I think they've made some bad mistakes in that regard. I think there's talent there. I don't think the whole thing necessarily, in terms of talent production, needs ripping up. Maybe they could have a few more young players, but there are some coming through.
Right, let's turn our attention to Sweden, or lucky Sweden, as I call them, because unlike Italy, they are heading to the World Cup, that despite failing to actually win a game during the qualification campaign. I don't have the final group in front of me. I think they finished bottom with 2 points and either a -8 or minus. I'm going to go -8 goal difference. Is that right?
Yeah, something along those lines. They didn't win a game, but everybody knew the deal before we started. You know, they won their Nations League group. This whole thing was done to give the Nations League a little bit more gravitas. And it was probably done as well, ironically, to give bigger nations a safety net. And Italy managed to fall through the cracks anyway. Sweden seized their opportunity in a way that Italy didn't. You know, they beat Ukraine in Valencia. I know people will say, well, that was at a neutral venue. Yeah, I get that, but it was still a good performance, and Gyökeres scored a hat-trick. And then at home to Poland, who are a good side as well, they found a way. They were twice pegged back, but then Gyökeres scores a late winner. Graham Potter's gone in there, and I think has said the right things, done the right things. I think he went back to basics. I think he focused on how he could get the most out of the players without overburdening them. And he got the job done. And I'm really pleased for him. And they're going to have some real talent. If players return from injury in the way we think they will, they've got some great players.
How do you think they're going to go on when they get to the finals? Do you think they're out the group and could cause the odd problem?
Yeah, I think they could. I mean, if you've got Isak back potentially, then you've got great depth in the striker's role. I'll be really interested to see how he deals with that problem, because he could play two up top, and that's kind of what he's lent towards. So I think Jon Dahl Tomasson, who was his predecessor, found it really difficult to get those two effectively in the same team and working together. So that's a problem. But it'll be interesting to see how he solves it. You've got Kulusevski. What shape's he going to be in? He's been out for such a long time. But they've got some great potential. Lucas Bergvall, I think, is a great young player. Ayari at Brighton, I think he's important too. So there's real talent there. I think they could surprise a few people.
We've only got time for one more story, Kev, but I've got two in front of me. So you choose which is more newsworthy, either Rafinha's injury or Germany splitting their squad.
Yeah, I think probably the Rafinha injury,
Okay.
Because he's going to be out for about 5 weeks, they reckon, and that's enormous because he'll miss both legs of the Atleti quarter-final in the Champions League. Barcelona are only 4 points ahead of Real Madrid in the title race, and the key here is that he got injured on international duty with Brazil, and he's done his hamstring. And Joan Laporta, the president, who's been newly re-elected at Barcelona, is absolutely seething about it because he cannot fathom, and I imagine he has a lot of support in this, why you would have an international break just before the period of the season when all the big prizes are played for. And, you know, Rafinha, who's such a key player for them, is going to miss a quarter-final if they get through, might miss a semi-final as well, and some big league games too. So you can see why Barcelona would be upset about that. They already were without him for quite a chunk of the season earlier on in the campaign. The one beneficiary could be Marcus Rashford because he played a lot more minutes than expected when Rafinha was out first, and he's a natural fit for that position.
Yeah. Kev, what are you up to over the bank holiday weekend, the Easter weekend? What are you doing?
Bundesliga for me, so looking forward to that very much.
Do you ever see your wife?
Yes, just had a nice little break, a few days away with the family.
Oh, that's
good
nice.
fun.
Okay,
Very nice.
No football at all on the break?
No. Switch the phone off, switch the laptop off. It was great fun.
Good work.
But not for too long.
An half hour.
I think he takes her to sci-fi conventions. You know, they dress up as wokkies or something like that. And
she would willingly go.
She
would willingly go.
You fish enough, you get the answers you want.
Yeah, the force is strong with this one.
Yeah,
Kev.
That's how we've managed 25 years. We're both as nerdy as each other.
And
that's the key.
Here's to the next 25 as well.
Don't get them onto lightsabers, mate. You know what I mean?
I don't think I want to go there at this time of the day.
Don't get involved in that.
Kev, always a pleasure. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll speak to you on next week's show.
Cheers, chaps.
Cheers. Thanks, man. The wonderful Kevin Asher. When we come up, we'll have some... Oh, go on.
I've got to say,
yes,
I was really disappointed that you've not talked about that German split in their squad.
Well,
I'm intrigued by it. That was his call. I understand that, but I'm intrigued to chat around that subject.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get one word Billy at the end of the show, when he comes in for the end of the show quiz, to tell you the story.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Joe, can you make sure one word Billy's across that story? We'll do that in an hour's time.
Perfect.
All right? Okay. When we come out, we'll have some fun with the end of show quiz. And then in the last hour, we'll be talking all things FA Cup. And I've got some questions of my own for Stuart. Of course, famously played in the 91 Cup final, scored a goal as well. The Gaza Cup final, I think it may be called. All of that and more is coming up live on Drive on talkSPORT after this.
What about Mo Salah? With Saudi in mind, is he now the most eligible free agent around?
It's a strange one because Saudi sources sense that MLS are going to make a big push, and MLS sources think he's nailed on to go to Saudi Arabia. And as a free agent, of course, there might be European interest. I'm told that reports linking him with a move to PSG are wide of the mark. They're past that Galacticos era within MLS. A fair few teams have ruled themselves out, such as San Diego, for example, and New York City FC. But there will be franchises in MLS exploring that deal. Some think that Chicago might enter the fray, and others believe that one of the two clubs in Los Angeles will be interested within Saudi Arabia. We know the clubs themselves would love to be able to sign Salah, particularly Al Qadsiya, where Brendan Rodgers is manager, Al Ittihad and Al Hilal. Neom FC could enter the picture as well. But the strange thing I'm hearing in Saudi, Jim, is that the clubs would love him. They've got to be able to finance it. They're reliant on central funding, and central deal makers are still actually debating, is there value in signing Salah at his age and at his wage? Last summer, they would have done it because they were negotiating the TV rights and they thought that they could sign Salah and get a really lucrative deal in Egypt. Now the central deal makers in Saudi are less sure whether he's still going to be the poster boy and have a return on investment. So the clubs are all in on Salah in Saudi, but some senior central figures still, I'm told, need some convincing.
welcome to already one of our favourite drive time shows. It's me, Andy Goldstein, the brilliant Stuart Pearce, alongside Still to Come. We'll be looking ahead to this weekend's FA Cup quarter-finals, all of them, live on talkSPORT. Just quickly, Barcelona are leading the race to sign Bernardo Silva on a freebie this summer. The Premier League's key match incidents panel. Oh, hold on, let's stop. Oh, have decided that the referee was right not to award Amid Diallo's penalty during Man United's draw at Bournemouth before the international break. I don't know how they've come to that conclusion. 100% a penalty. 100% a penalty. Anyway, what do I know? Time now for this. Time for the best of talkSPORT friends, where we run you through some of the recent highlight moments from across talkSPORT. Let's kick things off with the breakfast show. Gabby Abonhor discussing the upcoming trip to the moon. Here's who he'd like to send there on behalf of talkSPORT.
Somebody who, I thought we were close. We played England under 21s together. We worked together many times. I thought we were the future of the breakfast show in 15 years' time. He's getting married in 2 weeks, and I don't think I'm invited anymore.
Oh, come on.
I don't think so. You don't follow me on Instagram. So,
No, I
Alvaro,
never.
after your wedding day, you're going to the moon, pal.
If NASA decide to bring a volunteer to their moon expedition, why should they take you, Stuart Pearce?
Why should they take? I thought they were going to take Gabby and O'Hara. I had those
locked in a rocket.
21s, incredible.
Oh, you had them together, did you?
One-way ticket. I'd even given my senior rail pass to go and do the journey. Honestly,
which one's coming back? If only one comes back.
Oh, I've got to say, I was chuckling this morning listening to him.
He's great, Gab. We love him. What's the first thing you'd say if you landed on the moon?
First thing I would say, I would burst into a song. I bumped into Russ Abbott in January, so I would burst into song.
What an atmosphere. I love a party with a happy atmosphere. I remember that. Christ, I'm showing my age. If you weren't a footballer, Stuart Pearce, what would you be?
Electrician.
You'd be a Sparky. If you weren't a Sparky, what would you be?
Well, difficult one, that.
Jack, who wrote this, probably didn't even know you were a Sparky. You know that? No, it's quite famous, Stuart Pearce. Could you rewire a fuse box now?
Of course.
Okay. Could you... go on, what... I thought times changed.
That's an affront to my sort of technology. Well, some bits and pieces have changed a bit, but the general...
Okay. If I needed that light switch there, move to there, you could do it.
Easy.
Channel the wall out for me. The Breakfast Show returns at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Sam Matterface and Ray Party Piler. Staying with O'Hara.
I wouldn't mind being a milkman.
Why is that? Finish early.
Up early, finish early.
Yeah, nice. In the summer it'd be nice.
Yeah.
In the winter it'd be tough.
You can live with that.
Pint of orange juice.
They used to, didn't they?
I think they still do it. Still do it, yeah. And a loaf of bread you can get from them. O'Hara is very much up for the challenge of being centre space. Have a listen.
Send me out there.
You and Goldstein.
Yeah, I'll be gone. Send me out there.
I mean, you've got to be fit, though, to go up there.
What are you saying? What are you saying?
What
are you saying?
I'm just saying, I don't know whether you're...
What? You saying I can't take the G-force?
I don't think there's any... I don't know whether your body will be able to deal with it, mate.
He couldn't handle the jet lag.
I
bet he couldn't.
And lack of fast food restaurants. Who at talkSPORT would make the best and worst astronaut?
Best and worst?
Yeah.
Who would be the best astronaut?
Best astronaut.
Really difficult one, that. I think you would be the best astronaut.
They can't, yeah.
Without a doubt. You would give something to outer space.
Comedy.
Yeah.
Hair.
That as well.
Who'd be the worst? Who'd be moaning all the time?
Well, I'll tell you what, if they bumped into an alien life form and met Gabby, I don't know what that would say. What would aliens think if you met Gabby? And that was the yardstick for human beings.
Who's more of the alien?
Well, that is a question.
In fact, last question, if you ever met an alien, what's the first thing you'd ask it?
Sorry for littering your atmosphere.
Yeah. All that rocket fuel. And...
Yeah, keep away from human beings, mate. That's what I would say.
Good advice. Keep away
from human beings. All they do is start wars. It's a joke.
I'm getting deep now. Jamie's going to be back on his Sports Bar at 10 o'clock tonight, I agree, sadly. He'll be alongside the fun boy Jason Cundy. When we come back, we are gearing up to quarter-final weekend, long weekend. Every single one of the quarterfinals in the FA Cup will be live on talkSPORT. We'll chat to Stuart Pearce about them right after this.
Yeah, I know, Ali, I got in trouble with you and Cass yesterday because you accused me of basically coming in and causing absolute chaos with the Marc Cucurella and Chelsea story. So I've got another one for you today. I thought, why not just carry it on?
Good on you.
And I thought we'd carry on with Chelsea and Enzo Fernandez, because Enzo Fernandez in the Chelsea firing line. Chelsea players have been unimpressed with his leadership on and off the pitch during the team's dramatic slump in form. He's berated teammates on the pitch, been vocal in the dressing room. Obviously, he's a vice-captain at Chelsea. He's put his own future in doubt. He has hinted at Real Madrid. He then recently has said on a stream whilst on international duty about how he'd love to live in Madrid. I mean, he ain't really playing hard to get, is he? It's giving a little bit desperate. It's not a good look, is it? As a Chelsea fan, you'd want him out if he's behaving like this.
Well, listen, if he doesn't want to be there, it's very, very difficult for the manager or the players, you know, to want somebody in the dressing room and that. They've got the potential to be a bit of a rotten apple, if you like. And I just think there's a few boys, particularly in international duty, they go away and then they get caught up.
They forget, don't they,
Yeah,
their place?
they do. They think that, you know, that these comments won't get back to their mother clubs.
Derek Chisora has doubled down on his plans to retire after this weekend's fight against Deontay Wilder. He made the promise in front of his very first trainer, John Oliver, who says there's no good reason for Derek to continue.
Forgetting how people have boxed, gone too far, got hurt, end up in care homes. We don't need that anymore. We want to help our boxers.
You're listening to what John's saying here, Derek?
Yeah. That's why I said 50 and I'm out.
Well, Tony Bellew echoes that sentiment, if in a slightly different way.
Oh, don't start, mate. He's promised me and he swore to me he'll stop. I'm not having it if he doesn't, mate. I'll finish him myself if he doesn't stop. I'll drag him out. Lads, have a great weekend. Don't forget.
Hey, head down and follow through, old son. Head down, follow through.
That fight is live on talkSPORT on Saturday night, with the build-up over on talkSPORT 2. Now, with Alexander Isak back in training and in contention to face City after more than 3 months out, can the £125 million striker turn his Anfield fortunes around? Gabby Agbonlahor says yes.
Once he gets up to fitness, maybe right at the end of the season, we'll see him back to some of his best. But definitely next season, Ali, a good pre-season, and I'm sure he'll be back to the Isak that we know.
Elsewhere, what ramifications should vice-captain Enzo Fernandez face for suggesting his Chelsea future is up in the air at the end of this season?
Now it's up to Liam Rosenior to show the other players that he's strong manager, because he shouldn't pick him. Having dissed the club like that, if you're really the strong manager, you don't pick him.
Do you think that he's got it in him to do that?
No.
talkSPORT presenter and Chelsea fan Andy Jacobs there. Now, a Championship rugby coach has been banned for 6 matches after being sent off for slapping a Worcester Warriors player during a game. Alan Paver, the joint head coach of Cornish Pirates, will miss the last 5 matches of the campaign and a possible playoff fixture. And Eduardo Molinari has been named as one of Luke Donald's vice-captains for Europe at the 2027 Ryder Cup. He'll take the role for a 3rd time after being part of wins in Rome and New York.
Welcome back to Last Hour Drive on talkSPORT. Me, Andy Goldstein, Yak Jensen is alongside me.
How are we, chaps? Well?
Yeah, we're good. Kev, how are you, man? Oh, was it? Is that earlier? Oh, I missed it. How you feeling? 2 hours in, it's flown by, isn't it?
It always does, yeah.
Always does. Always a good sign. Still to come, we're looking ahead to Chisora against Wilder live on talkSPORT and DAZN this weekend. Are you excited about that? You're a boxing fan?
No, when I was a player, I used to go to the sort of Watson, Ben Eubank fights and all that, and used to love that. And when I was up at Manchester City, I used to watch Ricky. a lot of the time. But
you'll be listening to this one though.
No.
You'll be listening on talkSPORT, won't you?
Oh, of course I'll be listening.
Yeah, that's the right answer as well.
The answer's yeah,
good. But now it's time to look ahead to the FA Cup in partnership with our wonderful friends at McDonald's.
FA Cup update on talkSPORT with McDonald's. Got big McDonald's hunger? Order delivery on the McDonald's app today. From 11 a.m. 18 plus. Fees apply to delivery orders. Subject to availability. Price may vary.
Doesn't matter who you are, if you reach an FA Cup quarter-final, you start thinking about Wembley.
Here's Mamouche, first time shot, brilliant goal! Omar Mamouche! Szoboszlai in on goal, hits it! Oh, what a goal!
Salah shooting it back for Neto, through the goalkeeper for 4.
Wayne has scored! He's done it again in the FA Cup! It's Port Vale, bottom of League One, leading Sunderland!
He takes a long run up, Stuart. The goalkeeper goes the right way, but he can't keep it out. And Southampton are heading to the FA Cup quarter-finals.
Latest Arsenal corner, flicked on again, and it's in again. It's a Gabriel Martinelli hat-trick.
Konstantinos Mavropanos steps up, right-footed, and it's a brilliant penalty into the corner. And West Ham United are through to the FA Cup quarter-finals for the first time in a decade. Every goal, Akino finally scores for Leeds United. This truly is FA Cup magic.
Oh, it is indeed the only place to hear all 4 FA Cup quarter-finals this Easter weekend is, of course, right here on talkSPORT. And on Saturday, we begin with an absolute belter as Man City hosts Liverpool, that one at 12:45. Chelsea, they then face Port Vale at 5:15, and that's followed by the Saints against Arsenal at 8 p.m. And then, of course, it's West Ham against Leeds on Easter Sunday at 4:30. Do you think it's right, Stuart, that domestic football returns from the international break with FA Cup quarter-final weekend? Is there room? Should there be room for some Premier League games as well?
It's just at the start of the season how the calendar was panned out as such. But I'm not a big lover of how people disrespect international football. It just so happened that how it falls. I think the international calendar is more important than the league calendar.
But this week isn't.
Yeah, but listen, all these clubs turn around and have a moan about, we overplay, we play too much football and whatever, and they've got a decent times to have a decent break before the running at the end of the season. If you're not playing this weekend, you've got however many Premier League teams playing this weekend in the Cup.
But the gripe the fans would have, including me, would be, I've missed my Premier League fix.
Yes.
And now my team's still not playing this weekend because, of course, they got knocked out, and I've got to wait another week.
Go and watch non-league football, I would say.
I wouldn't argue with you, Stuart.
No. No.
But can you understand why people would have dealt with it?
Sort of. But listen, it's just the way that the fixtures are. This is FA Cup weekend. I'm really excited by these. But then again, I suppose I'm a neutral in all of this,
Okay. There was a time, of course, you weren't a neutral. There was a time you played in an FA Cup final and you scored a goal in it as well. Have a listen to this.
Stuart Pearce is always a danger here. Gary Parker standing to his left, but Pearce possibly lining up a left foot shot for Forest. Oh, it's in! What a splendid shot by the Forest captain to give Brian Clough's team the lead in the cup final.
1991, FA Cup final against Tottenham Hotspur.
Correct.
I've got lots of questions to ask because I remember watching that game. I did all the cup finals from that decade and the one after, etc. So when you scored that goal, you didn't celebrate.
No.
Why was that? You just put your hands up in the air. You look like you've been waiting for someone to give you a delivery for hours and they'd not turned up.
If we were winning 1-0 at the time and that was the second goal, and I knew there was a minute to go in the game, you'd have seen some celebration to me.
Okay.
My mentality was there's still a lot of the game to go. You don't know the final result. And as it goes, we got beat 2-1.
Yeah.
What you're running around celebrating for?
Because it was a phenomenal free kick.
I was pleased with it. That was my 16th goal of the season. No penalties.
No, you are kidding. No. How many set pieces?
I think 4 free kicks.
Wow, that's an unbelievable stat for a fullback, right?
Yeah, well, I'm pleased with it.
Yeah. I remember, this is all from memory, by the way, because I've got so many questions, but I remember in the wall, I think it was it Ian Wone?
It might have been Woney or Lee Glover or Hodgie, one of those.
Okay, I think it was Wone, but I might be wrong. pushed the Spurs player out the way. I think it was Paul Stewart, but I might be wrong.
Yeah.
And when he pushed him to the ground, the gap that they left is exactly where you put the ball.
Yeah. Trust me, he would have got out of the way anyway. So I don't overly matter.
I'm guessing something you worked on, right?
No. I tell you what I used to do. I used to line up, Steve Chettle used to do it for me. I used to line him up probably about 3 yards away from me.
Yeah.
Literally, and I used to get him as the target, and I say, stand there and don't move until the last minute, and then I used to hit it. I always went goalkeeper's side, always.
Right.
And goalkeepers are that daft. They, instead of doing their homework, they keep thinking, oh, he might go over the wall and embarrass me.
Yeah.
And if you look at the Spurs goalie, I think it was Eric
Torsvet, yeah.
He's edging towards his left-hand side. And so I think my mentality was this. I'm going to shoot, and 9 out of 10 times I'm going to get it on target. So you've got to save it. I look at players now, and it frustrates the life out of me how they keep missing the target. Just hit it open side, get your players to be the shield. So I used to get Chet 3 yards away, and I weren't aiming to score. I was aiming to hit him right in the do-re-mis. That was my proviso.
Yeah.
And he moved last minute, so unsighted the goalie. So I knew if I hit him 3 yards away, that ball would continue onto the target.
I remember as a kid watching that, I'd have been sort of nearly 20. I remember the build-up. A lot of the build-up was all about whether or not Brian Clough was going to win his very first FA Cup.
Yeah.
Can you remember the speech beforehand? And did you feel not an air of desperation, but maybe an air of this is our time before the game started?
We wanted to win the FA Cup for him. Make no mistake about that. My mentality was, look, the great team back in 79-80 that won European Cups and leagues and everything, they won everything, but they didn't win the FA Cup. That was a desperate thing for us to do. We were really desperate. But Cloughie was double understated, always was. There was no big Chichilian speeches in the dressing room. Put the ball on a towel in the middle of the dressing room and went, that's what we play with, go and get it.
And that was it?
That's the team talk.
And was it always that? Or was it similar to that?
In the main, yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah, play when you're relaxed. He always wanted you... If you walked in our dressing room, probably 15 minutes before kick-off, you'd walk into total silence with just all the players sat round with their legs out relaxing. And his mentality was, you can't play unless you're relaxed.
Yeah. Let's talk a bit about the game, right? Because it was the game where Paul Gascoigne got injured before he's moved to Lazio.
Yeah.
With two horror challenges. Again, from memory, was one on Gary Charles?
Yes.
And the other was on?
Gary Parker.
It was on Gary Parker,
yeah.
Okay. Did you realise the severity of the second one that eventually led to him being stretched off?
I knew he hurt himself doing what
you knew Gazza well then, right? Or
yeah.
not? Okay.
Yeah, but he's wearing a different shirt to me that day.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm very cold-hearted when it comes to football, to be fair. I've got to say so.
Even now, if we played for a talkSPORT comp and you were on the other team, would you have the same mindset with me on the opposite? Would I be the enemy, or would I go, come on, Stu, it's only me?
I'd probably look straight through you as I've never met you before in my life.
Would you really?
Yeah, why wouldn't you? I mean, I've been in tunnels opposite best man at my wedding. I wouldn't even...
Who's that?
I wouldn't even... Trevor Peake at Coventry when we played Coventry. I would not even look at him. I would just look straight through him until the end of the game. Then
you treat him like everyone else. If you needed to go through him in a challenge, you would.
100%. He's chased me up the pitch on occasion. Why wouldn't you do that? You're trying to win a game of football.
Yeah.
Friendship goes out the window. You don't shake people's hand in the tunnel. You don't do any of that. Not in my world, you don't. You walk out, you're cold, you're calculating, and you've got to win a football match.
The game was, of course, remembered for lots of moments in it, but one of them was a history-making moment. Gary Lineker became the first player ever to miss a FA Cup final penalty. Was it Crossley, Mark Crossley?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, to say missed it doesn't give Mark
Great
Crossley
save.
Fantastic penalty saver.
Yeah.
I used to practice with Big Norm, we used to call him. I used to practice on a Friday with him. He was brilliant. So, because I knew he was that good at saving penalties, when I was taking penalties, I always used to say, right, end of training, come over. The first 5, I would tell him which side I was going, and the next 5, I wouldn't. So I knew if I could beat him telling him which way, I knew I'd taken a good penalty.
Yeah.
He was brilliant.
He was. Did you know it was a history-making moment when he missed it, Lineker?
No, I thought at the time, I think he missed it. Did he miss when we were 1-0 up? Or
yeah, it was equalised.
You just thought, oh, maybe it's our year this year. You know, that was the thought process.
And then Paul Stewart got the equaliser.
Yeah.
And then was it Des Walker scored a header own goal from a corner or cross? A cross came in.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time, Des Walker was one of the best centre halves in Europe, right? When that happened,
comfortably one of the best.
Yeah. Do you remember speaking to him afterwards? I mean, to lose an FA Cup final, in a manner like that.
Yeah, we're good friends. We didn't lose because Des scored an own goal. We lost because Gaza should have been sent off twice. I mean, so two of the worst challenges you'll ever see. If it was this day and age and you showed a kid it that had never seen
You're 100%
challenges,
right. I never thought of that
would have been
before.
horrified by these challenges.
Yeah, I mean, the second one, his foot was just below his chin.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
It was.
Just crazy. But the bottom line is we lost the game because when we went 1-0 up, we stopped playing. When Gaza went off, they improved. He was running around like a lunatic.
Yeah.
And when he went off, they played with a little bit more control as a team, and we stopped playing.
Is that one of the lowest moments of your career, losing that game?
No, I've missed a penalty for my country.
One of. I know that, but one of.
Yeah, probably it was.
And do you remember what it was like in the dressing room afterwards?
Yeah, typical of Cloughie, whenever we went to Wembley, and we went to Wembley quite a bit over that time in varying guises and competitions, you know, I think we went 3 out of 4 years in the League Cup final, won 2 of them, got beat in the final. So we done well. We went deep into sort of competitions, cup competitions really well. And we never booked anything for Wembley. It was the same as any other game. You go down to Wembley, you play the game, you get on the coach, we go back to Nottingham. Nothing.
Yeah.
The next day after, win, lose or draw, you're in training.
You weren't then, though, right? Because it was the end of the season.
No, we were in.
Why?
Because that's what Brian Clough did.
The season's ended. You just lost the cup final and you had to go in for training.
Pretty sure, yeah, because that's what we always did. You could set... If it was a normal league game, we might go down to London, play on Saturday, and he might say, I'll see you Thursday. But for cup finals, especially if you won, you'd be in the next day. Running.
Wow, that's nuts, right? Running.
That's what he did.
All about running.
Run you around the track.
I'm glad I asked you all those. They've been on my mind for years. Listen, going back to the quarterfinals all live on talkSPORT over the weekend, let me get your prediction. A quick word about each one. A prediction from Saturday, as I mentioned, 12:45 sees Man City against Liverpool.
What a game. I'll be listening to that on talkSPORT.
Good answer.
Because I'm there. So,
oh, you're on it. You're commentating.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Which I'm really excited about that one. What a great game. Liverpool need to get something out of the season.
Mm-hmm.
That is for sure. They got a great opportunity. They'll think to themselves, do we put Man City out? We might end up being favourites for the rest of the competition. City, having just won the Carabao Cup, will be in good spirits. I think City will just edge it.
Yeah, me too. I think home advantage is key here.
Yeah, me too.
All these, by the way, live on talkSPORT. Also on Saturday, 5:15, Chelsea against Port Vale. I suppose I won't ask who you think is going to win, but by how many goals would Chelsea win?
Yeah, I think they'll win 3-0. Comfortably 3-0. As I say, it's Port Vale, fantastic getting there. Certainly when you look at their league position, you know, so they've had a real tough season.
Yeah.
I've got to say as well at this stage, I went to Port Vale versus Arsenal in the League Cup this year.
Yeah.
And the staff at Port Vale was so good. I've never done this before. In all the games I've covered, I emailed them afterwards, the club secretary, and said, can I just say how friendly and helpful all of your staff were on the evening. They were brilliant. And I had an email back saying, it's really kind of you to say something like that, but they were brilliant. Anyway, Chelsea should be comfortably through then. So
a quick word on the last two because we're massively over. My fault.
Definitely.
8 p.m. on Saturday, Southampton against Arsenal. We're going to get an upset there?
No. Arsenal will win 2-0. I have a sneaking suspicion someone from one of the teams will get sent off, though.
Okay, interesting. And the last one is on Sunday at 4:30, West Ham against Leeds.
Could go to extra time. West Ham, home advantage, I think will win.
All right. Okay, good predictions. Right, that was all thanks to our friends at McDonald's. A reminder that all of those games live on the talkSPORT network over the weekend.
FA Cup update on talkSPORT with McDonald's. Got big McDonald's hunger? Order delivery on the McDonald's app today. From 11 a.m, 18 plus. Fees apply to delivery orders. Subject to availability. Price may vary.
I've primed Memorabilia. I've told him that at the end of show quiz, the first thing we're going to do before the quiz is you're going to ask him questions on what's going on in Germany with their World Cup squad.
Yeah.
So he's primed. He has the answers. So all that and more is coming up in the last, 43 minutes of this week's drive on talkSPORT.
In terms of greatest Premier League managers, because if he does leave, he will go down as one of the greats.
Yes.
What's your top three?
Sir Alex, Pep, and Jose for me.
What?
They're
Jose Mourinho?
Yeah. What do you mean, Jose Mourinho?
Not Arsene Wenger?
Arsene Wenger was in the conversation.
Oh, you're putting Jose in there?
Yeah, of course I'm putting Jose in there. 5.5 years, three Premier Leagues. Arsene Wenger had
Premier League all-time manager.
22 years he was there, Arsene Wenger. Won 3. Jose, 5.5. Won 3.
I mean, in terms of...
Sir Alex, because he was there...
Sir Alex is no question, right?
He's the Don. He is the Don.
Yeah.
Right, he's the Don.
Yeah.
Pep's number 2. Can't argue. Because it's longevity as well. How long's he been there, Pep? Is it 9 or 10 years? I think I'm right in saying that. If it's not 9, it's coming up for 10.
26.
Okay, so 10 years he's got. Okay.
Yeah.
He's won 6 Premier Leagues.
Yeah.
Come on. That's...
Yeah, no, but Arsene Wenger changed football.
Oh, he did?
Arsene Wenger, when he come to the Premier League, he revolutionised the game. He completely changed the way we play now, the way the Premier League is, what it's become. Really and truthfully, was down to Arsene Wenger.
Without question, because Arsene Wenger changed the attitude. So I remember Arsene Wenger used to come in, used to get the players coming in on a Sunday for a warm down, right? And I was at Ipswich at the time. All of a sudden, I was at George Play. He's got us coming in for a warm down on a Sunday. What's all this about? Arsene Wenger started it.
Yeah.
So I drive from London up to Ipswich for a warm down.
Yeah, but he did. He revolutionised the game. He changed the way that athletes...
Yeah, but fans don't care about that.
Producer Joe just came in wearing what I can only describe as a librarian's cardigan. What do you make of that? Are you a fan of it?
No, but it covers up his ridiculous T-shirt, so, you know...
What's on the T-shirt?
I don't know. Paul Scrummager.
Picasso. It says Picasso.
Does it? But that's not Picasso. Paul Cézanne.
Never heard of it.
No, he don't know what he's doing. Not what
he doesn't know what he's doing. You got it on the internet, he says. Careful what you get on the internet. Drive on talkSPORT with me, Andy Goldstein. The Ledge is Stuart Pearce. Still to come, we'll be looking ahead to Chisora against Wilder live on talkSPORT and DAZN this weekend. I know that Stuart Pearce will be listening to live commentary of that on
all over it.
talkSPORT. Time now to take a look at the latest EFL action in partnership with our friends at McDonald's.
EFL Corner on talkSPORT with McDonald's. Got big McDonald's hunger? Order delivery on the McDonald's app today. From 11 a.m, 18 plus. Fees apply to delivery orders. Subject to availability. Price may vary.
Yeah, this is the EFL Corner where we take a look at a big old bank holiday Friday action in the EFL across the talkSPORT network. Let's start with 12:30 tomorrow. That is Friday. I keep thinking today's Friday, but tomorrow's Friday. Middlesbrough against Millwall. It's live on talkSPORT. Middlesbrough, they are second, 9 points off top spot, and 2 points clear of Ipswich in third, and Millwall in fourth. Their Millwall manager Alex Neil's been speaking ahead of the game. He said they're confident they can get a result.
More than held our own this year with a lot of the teams at the top end of the division, and like I say, after 39 games we are where we are on merit. So yeah, we want to go to Middlesbrough and hopefully try and be better than they are, but they've got really good players and they're a really good side, so it's not going to be easy. But like I say, I think we've done really well this year. I think we'll take a lot of confidence for the second half against Ipswich, and it shows that we are capable, that if we can put everything together and sort of play as well as we can, then yeah, we can live with these teams.
A lot of people don't know Alex Neil actually plays the trumpet, as we heard at the start of the interview. A win here will be absolutely massive for Mill. Would you like to see them come up this season, Stuart?
Well, put it this way, they've had a brilliant season.
Yeah.
So this is a big game. Fantastic game, this one. I'm delighted to see Coventry potentially going up as well.
Yeah.
My old club, and obviously work with Frank as well. So he's done a great job. But yeah, it'd be nice to see Millwall up.
Yeah, Borough, they are, 9 points off top spot now. Do you think they've forgotten about trying to win the title at this point?
I would say so. I think that's beyond them. I think Coventry have rediscovered a bit of form. Yeah, it does. I was.
Do you think so? Like, just get out of the Championship. Does it matter how you get up there?
For me, it did. I mean, I've been promoted with Forest as runner-up. I've also won the league with Manchester City to get promoted. And I'll tell you what, you get to this stage and I never thought to myself, we'll get promoted. I thought, I want to win the league.
Would you rather go up automatically in second place or win the playoff at Wembley?
Probably win the playoff, you know.
Yeah,
it's
day out of Wembley.
Day. If I could guarantee getting promoted on either, I think I'd rather win the playoff.
What do you make about the new plans for the playoff system? Are you aware of it?
I think so, yeah.
So they want to go down to 8.
Yeah.
And third and fourth get to the semis.
Yeah.
And then 5, 6, 7 and 8 play quarters to get to the... What do you make of that?
Similar as Super League.
Exactly that,
League, playing that system. I think it loads the dice too much in favour of the teams. So I like it as it is, to be
me
fair.
too.
I think there's too many teams. How can you finish 8th and still have a tilt at getting promoted?
Do you remember the time? I think it was the first or second season we ever did playoffs from the Premier League. And do you remember the team that finished either like 17th in the Premier League would play the team that finished 3rd in the Championship? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was bizarre, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I quite like that.
I think if you don't get to a level of points and you finish, if you get,
I like this. Go on.
Relegated at the bottom of the league.
Yeah. What bottom three?
Bottom 2, bottom 3.
Yeah.
Out you go. If you're the 4th bottom team and you don't hit a level of points,
let's say 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then maybe you go in a playoff with the team. That wouldn't be a bad way. A bit of jeopardy.
Yeah. You know? So that way, everyone on the last day of the season, in theory, has got stuff to play for.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I like that.
What a game that would be, eh?
That would. That'll be a great game. Talking of good games, West Brom against Wrexham. It's live on talkSPORT 2 tomorrow at 3 p.m. Wrexham, they're 7th, only outside the playoffs on goal difference. Meanwhile, West Brom, they've won their last 2 games to move 4 points clear of the relegation zone. The Wrexham journey, it divides a lot of people, Stuart. You can't really argue with 3 promotions on the bounce, which is a little bit insane. Would you like to see them make it 4?
What a story. I'll tell you what, I never watched the documentary, that they made of this.
Yeah.
And I've recently done a long-haul flight and actually started watching it and really enjoyed it. I didn't think I would. Really enjoyed it. And I'm thinking, well, I'll tell you what, they've done so much for the community, so much for Wrexham. It's a bigger story. What a story it is as well. I remember a few years ago, I think Swansea went up right through the leagues, not from non-league, but right through the leagues and back down again. I think it'd be a great story.
Okay, I've got to ask you the last one on my list. Coventry against Derby live on talkSPORT tomorrow at 8 p.m. Of course, your former club how much credit does Frank Lampard deserve for where they are at the moment now? Because they did have a little blip and there were question marks, right?
Yeah, probably about 2 months ago they went off the boil a little bit, but it's understandable if you've played or managed in the Championship with the amount of games that you actually have to play, 2 a week all the time, relentlessly. You're always going to have a little down period. Coventry have had a tough couple of decades, to be fair. There's no doubt.
And then some.
Exactly, with the club going bust, ownership, and all of those type of things. I'd love to see them back in the Premier League. For Frank, more so for the City.
Yeah. That was all thanks to our friends at McDonald's.
EFL Corner on talkSPORT with McDonald's. Got big McDonald's hunger? Order delivery on the McDonald's app today. From 11 a.m, 18 plus. Fees apply to delivery orders. Subject to availability. Price may vary.
I should say before we move on, I love the FA Cup. Right? And I pride myself on knowing lots about it from sort of late 70s to the end of the 90s, right?
Yeah.
I love it. It's my genre. I can answer most FA Cup questions in that period. I got one wrong. I did say that Gary Lineker's penalty miss was the first. Matt Lattis texted me saying, no, it wasn't. It was John Aldridge in 88.
That's true.
And he is
Big
right.
Bess made the save, didn't he?
Yes. But you've got the nice link between them, right?
Yeah, I have, because Mark Crossley...
who saved Lineker's.
Also saved one from Tiz, and I think Tiz has only missed one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Incredible penalty taker, Tiz.
Yeah. The only one he missed was against Mark Crossley.
Yeah.
Good goalkeeper, obviously. Still to come, we'll be looking ahead to Chisora against Wilders live on talkSPORT and DAZN this weekend. First, the last no Googling of the week. Well, it can't be the week because you're on tomorrow. We're not on tomorrow. Friday and Monday, there's lots of live football, so me and Bentley are off. We're back on Tuesday. Last one of the week, we want to know, what was the last FA Cup final where both teams scored more than one goal? That's an unbelievable question. What was the last FA Cup final where both teams scored more than one goal?
I remember a 3-2 in 79, which was Arsenal-Man U.
That's right. United 2-0 down, come back to 2-2.
Start there. Leeds-Chelsea was 2-2 in 1970.
Yeah, and that was played at Old Trafford, the replay.
Replay was one of my heroes.
Neither of them.
The winner.
Neither of them.
Excellent. So we're coming more up to date.
Yeah. The answer
Wigan? Would the Wigan go?
No, what was 1-0, wasn't it, against City?
Oh,
Header.
It won't be that then.
No. The answer to that and more, Matt Lassis, if you know, text me. The answer to that and more coming up live on Drive and talkSPORT after this.
If you look at the fact that Chelsea have done 600 million worth of transfers in the 25-26 season and paid 65 million agents fees. Now go look at Aston Villa. Aston Villa have done 70 million worth of transfers, 57 million worth of sales, and paid 38 million pounds in agents fees. So when you look at the ratios, you go, you did 120 million worth of business and you paid 38 million, which is about 26%.
Right.
Chelsea have done 600 million worth of business and paid 65 million. So whilst the numbers look horrible and in the scale of things enormous, in the representative terms of what business has been done, they're not enormous. Now, then you take the losses. Chelsea got 100, however they got it and however they concocted it, they got 125 million pounds worth of profit last year. We know how they did it. They sold their women's team and a whole raft of other things.
I'm going to get to that.
So the PS, well, that was what they were allowed to do, right? And in previous times,
I agree.
In previous times, Man City and Chelsea were allowed to build football teams with impunity, and Newcastle can't. So we all are a product of timing, and we're all a product of opportunity, and we're all a product of creative outcomes based upon the circumstances that we operate in the time that we operate them in. So I look at this and go, yeah, they've made 250 million pounds of losses, right? We are, if they're not worried about it and they believe they can cover the gap between the PSR and also the consequences of squad cap rules that they put into place, that they've got consequences on already, then that's their business.
But it's up to us to observe it. And if Chelsea are the biggest spenders on agents and the biggest spenders on transfers and have the biggest losses, how on earth can Behdad Eghbali, who you met recently, and to quote you, is one of the most impressive operators you've ever met in football?
One of the most compelling is what I said. Yeah.
Amen Corner, perhaps the most feared run of holes in golf. Each year it claims the tournament hopes of many, with balls hitting bunkers and water traps aplenty. But why is it so fearsome, and where did it get its name? Just the thoughts of holes 11, 12 and 13 at Augusta National gives the likes of Rory McIlroy and Jordan Spieth the shivers. McIlroy hit 3 over and Spieth hit 4 over in their final rounds to blow their hopes of a green jacket in 2011 and 2016 respectively. But did you know Amen Corner's name is inspired by a jazz song from 1933? American sports writer Herbert Warren Wint, on the left here, wrote about it in 1958, referencing the song shouted in that Amen Corner when describing the run. Hole 11 is a par 4 over 520 yards with a green guarded by a pond and bunkers to the front edge. 12, perhaps golf's most famous hole, is a par 3 over just 155 yards. The green's guarded by Rays Creek at the front, more bunkers and azalea bushes ready to punish the smallest error. Then there's the 13th that teases the hook shot over the trees. It's a dogleg par 5 over 545 yards that's inviting for big hitters who want to reach the green in 2. If you want to win the Masters, you have to keep your score down around Amen Corner. So who'll be the next to fall victim to golf's most famous and most daunting challenge?
It is a nice day. It is a nice day for a white wedding. Before the break, asked a question. Matt Lettis has already texted me with the right answer, annoyingly. What was the last FA Cup final where both teams scored more than one goal? It was 2014, Arsenal 3, Hull 2. Ooh. I've got one for you, and he won't get it, right? But I'll give you the answer quick, all right? It was which member of England's 1966 World Cup squad had a sister who had a #1 hit the same year? Wow. Any idea? Matt, I bet
Jimmy Greaves.
Have I told you this before?
No.
It was Jimmy Greaves.
Was it?
Yeah. And his sister Frida.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, 3
Well,
degrees.
I did. No, I guessed.
3 degrees.
Very good.
Follow us at 7, Natalie. You like that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
That's yours. You could have that.
Hey, nice.
Follow us at 7, Natalie Zoyo's kick-off. Tonight she's got football Chelsea defender Scotty Minto alongside. Right, this Saturday an icon will fall as Derek Chisora collides with the bronze bomber Deontay Wilder. Let's look ahead to the big fight now with our friends at DAZN.
Big fight build-up on talkSPORT with DAZN. Watch Derek Chisora versus Deontay Wilder this Saturday, only on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com.
Yes, Derek Chisora takes on Deontay Wilder this weekend at the O2 Arena in London. It's live on DAZN. The press conference just started, actually, at York Hall. We can head over there now and speak to talkSPORT's answer to Morecambe and Wise, although neither of them are Wise. Spencer Oliver and Gareth A. Davis. Boys, good afternoon. It's always a great, great place to go to, is York Hall, Bethnal Green. It sort of gets the juices flowing ahead of what should be a fascinating night of boxing on Saturday.
Indeed, it's a spiritual East London home of boxing, British boxing. You join us just as Derek Chisora makes his way to the stage. Stuart Pearce, obviously, alongside you, is a massive fight fan as well. I reckon he could have dug a few people out with that left hand of his. But it's been a big day here this afternoon. We're about an hour late starting because Derek Chisora arrived in a tank with Nigel Farage. I don't know if you got any clips of it, but it was extraordinary, wasn't it, Spencer?
It really was. Yeah, it was an entrance that no one really expected. But yeah, Derek Chisora turning up with Nigel Farage was just something out of this world. It was wild. And the press conference now, Derek has just walked in actually, and press conference is just about to kick off.
I have to say we're seeing footage of that now. If you're watching on YouTube, I haven't seen that, but we're playing it. In all your years of doing what you guys do, have you ever seen an appearance, someone turning up for a press conference like that?
Well, obviously Nassim Hamid came out on the magic carpet, didn't he? Tyson Fury came out on a throne to Patsy Cline's Crazy. We've seen a few things down the years, but it was very special, and because it's Derek's send-off and Nigel Farage was with him, and there was a lot of media outside, news media as well, big security cordon, the police was there. Derek addressed the police as well at one point. They literally brought the traffic to a standstill, didn't they?
They absolutely did. Listen, we've seen the ring walks, that we're talking about, coming in on the flying carpets, etc., and Tyson Fury getting carried into the ring and all of that. We've seen that, but not at a press conference have we ever seen someone turn up, not just in a tank, but with Nigel Farage in the tank as well. I mean, honestly, it was like show-stopping. It was jaw-dropping. It was incredible. It really was. The scenes were mad. Only Derek Chisora could do something like that, pull something like that off.
There is a joke I want to make about Nigel Farage in the tank, but legally I can't at 20 to 7. I know you're both whispering, and that's because the press conference is going on behind you. Let me ask both of you. I'll start with you, Spence. Would any result come Saturday night, and by that I don't just mean a Chisora win or a Deontay Wilder win, I mean a knockout by either of them, would any result shock you?
No, not with these two, and not where they're at in their careers right now. Look, Derek Chisora bizarrely now starts favourite going into this one because of his recent run of form. The Joe Joyce victory was good. Otto Wallin last time out was very impressive as well, and he's looked good in recent times, where Deontay Wilder, since the Joseph Parker defeat and Zhale Zhang last time out when he got knocked out by Zhale Zhang, yes, he's had one win since then against Tyrell Herndon and not looked particularly good in doing that. You just go like Derek Chisora starts a favourite, but Deontay Wilder has that whack. 43 of his 44 opponents have been knocked out, and you just sense, Gareth, that he might find that shot from somewhere. So we don't really know what Wilder turns up, what Chisora turns up, and who's going to win the fight.
Well, finally, I don't agree with you during the week. I'm going to make that very public now. I think the biggest shock would be if Deontay Wilder knocks Derek Chisora out, because I don't know if he's got it anymore. Having said that, the best storyline for this, because Derek said it's over that's why he's turning up to press conferences in tanks with people like Nigel Farage. If Deontay Wilder knocks out Derek Chisora, he calls out Anthony Joshua straight away. We've spoken to him about it. It's there on the YouTube channel, and that's why I'm disagreeing with you, because it's not that likely to me, but I would love to see it happen.
Okay, last question to both of you. I appreciate you coming on. I know you've got to be quiet. Who needs to win more out of the two of them, Spence?
Deontay Wilder needs to win more, because I think that's the biggest victory and the biggest gain for the boxing fans, because I think if Deontay Wilder wins, we get the Anthony Joshua fight, and that probably happens very, very quickly. You know, I think if Derek Chisora wins, where does he go? Who do you put him in with? He'll probably end up with someone like Moses Atauma, and that I do not want to see, but there'll be too much of a carrot dangled in front of Derek if he comes through to have another big fight. We want to see him have his 50, retire and out, but I think Deontay Wilder's the bigger story, Gareth.
Yeah, absolutely, and I agree with Spencer on that, absolutely. And that the thing is, Deontay has vacillated between emotional, wild in the week. He was very tough with us yesterday, answering questions really deeply and sincerely. The test is on him, because I think Derek's checking out after this.
Okay. I know you're going to check out now, boys, although I will give either of you £100 if you shout at the top of your voice, TalkSport Drive Time. Either want the bet?
TalkSport Drive Time.
Yeah, that's not the top of your voice. I'll give you a tenner for that, Gareth. Boys, listen, I can't wait for this fight. I think it's going to be an absolute barnstormer. Thank you so much, not just for today, but everything you've brought to this show during the week building up to it. Have a good one, boys. We'll see you soon.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
There you go. That was a look ahead to Chisora against Wilder with our friends at DAZN. Don't forget, of course, you can watch it live this Saturday, only on DAZN. Buy it now at DAZN.com.
Big fight build-up on talkSPORT with DAZN. Watch Derek Chisora versus Deontay Wilder this Saturday, only on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com.
I know you said you're not as much as a boxing fan now as you used to be.
Yes.
What's the best fight you've ever seen on the telly or been to live? Or seen whilst you've been a footballer and two players have gone toe-to-toe? We didn't even talk about Roy Keane earlier. You ever seen him throw a punch or two?
No.
Okay. You ever seen footballers have a little scrap?
Yeah.
Who have you seen?
Best fight I ever saw.
Comes forward to the mic.
Andy Morrison and Paulo One Chop.
Right. Was there one chop in it? What happened? What was it over?
I have no idea, but I saw them going head-to-head. I was on the coaching staff at Manchester City. And I saw them go head-to-head, and I thought, oh, this could be interesting. And I was about to go upstairs and looking through the stairs, it going on downstairs, and I thought I really should go and break that up, being a member of this coaching staff. I thought, no chance.
Why? Let them work it out themselves?
I thought I was going to get a few rogue ones. It was a heavyweight encounter at the highest order.
Do the other lads not split it up? Or they
weren't there. It was just them two, I think.
And you don't know what it was over?
No, no idea. But I tell you what, I didn't want to get involved in the middle of it. That is for sure. So I kept walking.
Who won?
No idea. I think it was pretty even Stevens when I left it. One of the best. Anything that Eubank was involved in, to be fair, the Eubank, all of those fights.
You
most
more
of them
Eubank than Ben?
I think I was.
Oh, yeah.
I liked almost like what he stood for at the time.
Arrogance.
Eubank. Yeah, he was just himself.
I see that.
You know what I mean?
I see that in you.
Everyone hated him, and he just, that was him. This is me. Take me or leave me.
Yeah.
Don't matter. Some great fights. I tell you one I went to see as well. My ex-wife used to work for a boxing promoter called Paddy Lynch in the Coventry Balsall Common area, and he used to have a few boxers in his stable, and he had a fella called Pat Caldell that used to fight in the Midlands area, and Pat come up against a Zuma Nelson.
Remember Zuma Nelson?
My God, he shredded Pat. It was a big fight for Pat Caldell.
Yeah.
Fought at the NEC and whatever, and I went to that. That didn't last long, the fight, but what an occasion, and Paddy had a world title tilt as well.
Yeah. It's frightening when you're ringside or when you're close to the action. It's
scary,
mate.
Yeah,
you don't get that on telly.
No, you don't. You don't feel the blows and whatever. And I went to most of the Hitman's fights as well. Yeah, I took his belt into the ring. I went up to see him at Sheffield in a fight, and he said, "Oh, take my belt in and walk round holding his belt. I was a Man City manager at the time and went to watch him train in his gym.
Amazing.
And everything. Brilliant. What a showman. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. Him versus, who was the Irish boxer? Steve
Collins.
Yeah.
No, that wouldn't have been a fight. That was different weights.
I don't know. It's an Irish boxer. Something like Anyway, that was brilliant. That was at the Manchester. It was like an extension of a football match.
I know. The following he had was like, I've never seen that before.
Those fights were great, watching him.
When we come out, we'll have the end of show quiz and we'll test Billy on his knowledge of what's happening with the Germany squad.
Yes.
All of that is coming up right after this.
Is it nigh on impossible, Frank, to keep a lid on the hype surrounding Moses at the moment?
No, it's not. And the Zone had a massive rating for the fight. I think it's their highest rating this year for it, so I'm told. So, you know, he's people are well aware of who he is and what a talent he is, and he showed that certainly on Saturday. It was a very mature, performance with a very durable, tough guy. And he'd done a job. He'd done a magnificent job. And, look, that's the future of boxing. He's the future of heavyweight boxing. And I'd have no problem tomorrow making him with Mr. Usyk. I'd make it in a heartbeat tomorrow.
Question, Frank, for you. I mean, we had the other day on Talk Boxing, Nikisa Badarian, who I know you'll know, and he talked about, and you don't need to be taught how to manage and match fights, right? That's not what I'm making the point here. I'm sort of sense-checking what he said. His attitude was, he would, if he was managing Atomy, it'd stick him in with Andy Ruiz in Madison Square Garden, because it gives an opportunity, A, to put him in against another decent fighter to give him another learning curve, but also breaks him into America by doing something Anthony Joshua couldn't do, which is knocking out American heavyweight that has some repute. Is that got some sense in that thinking?
Sorry, who was it who said that?
Nikisa Badarian, Jake Paul's promoter. And
Nikita's a very good promoter, and he knows what he's doing. We will be going to America. That's obvious. That will happen this year, and who the opponent is, we'll see. If it's Ruiz or any, I haven't got a problem with him fighting any American fighter at all.
Pardon?
Got this on the jukebox.
Have you? Have you got a jukebox? Have you? Has it got one of those jukeboxes where you can just give it a whack like Del Boy used to and a song would come on?
Yeah.
Did you do that? Oh, we should give Billy a whack and he'd turn on. Yes, guess who's in the studio, everyone? Is it Billy? He's shy. He looks like he's 10. Turn it up. His mum should pick him up from work. Why is that, though? He looks like he's 10. He does look like he's 10. You all right, Bill?
Yeah. Evening, Stu. It really
is, mate. Before we do the end of the show quiz,
yes,
there was a story that we didn't get to with Kevin Atchard about the German squad picking players in certain positions or something. What was the story?
I've done some digging. According to the German newspaper Bild, Germany boss Julian Nagelsmann will divide his World Cup squad into starters, subs and squad players, meaning he'll discuss each player's role with them in detail before the tournament starts.
So when will he actually do that? When he picks the final squad, he'll do that?
Yes.
He doesn't know.
Yes.
Phil, and what would that entail to you if you were just told, can we do this? Can
Do whatever you
we
want.
dig in
Your
depth
show.
with Bill?
Yeah.
How does this work if you're a German player and a squad player and your manager called you in and said, you're just going to be Herr Wolfgang, you're just going to be a squad player for this up-and-coming World Cup. How would you feel?
Wolfgang?
I'd be pretty happy with that person.
Can you answer in German?
9.
Very good.
I wouldn't mind, but I'm sure some players would be quite upset.
Bill, what's interesting, no one cares what you think.
Yeah,
Should we do the end of the show quiz?
Yes.
What are we doing it on?
You were discussing space, the rocket ship.
Yes.
Going to the moon.
Yes.
So it's all about the moon and space.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Andy, do you want to go first? Or
No, Stuart Pearce, the superstar, can go
Beautiful.
first.
Stuart, which of these animals has not been sent into space?
Yep, go on.
Dog,
Yes,
chimpanzee,
that is. Go on.
or goose?
Goose.
Right answer.
Correct. Listen, a chimpanzee.
You name the monkey or the dog that went up?
Bubbles.
Yeah, and then what was the monkey
dog?
called?
The dog.
What was the dog called?
Ralph.
Oh, you know, okay.
Andy.
Yeah.
Venus has the longest days of any planet.
Yeah.
How many Earth days are one day on Venus?
What are my options?
5, 243, 10,000.
243, I know that for a fact.
Yes.
Yeah.
A day on Venus is actually longer than a year on Venus.
Wow.
Interesting.
You know what's meant to be massive is Uranus as a planet.
correct?
Yeah, it's meant to be huge, Uranus. Do you know that?
Interesting. I'd heard that, but only from people behind me.
Yeah, apparently there's a river that runs through Uranus. I don't know how true that is. That's what I'm hearing.
Stuart, are there more stars in the universe or grains of sand on the Earth?
Stars in the universe?
Yeah. There's roughly 10,000 stars for every grain of sand.
That's impossible.
They've checked.
Oh, if they've checked, that's different. Okay, if they've checked.
What have you lost your count, Bill?
Start again.
Yeah,
Start again.
Pick them up. Is my question about Uranus?
No, not really.
Okay.
Andy, the Milky Way reportedly smells like what?
Ooh.
I think it might be coconut.
No,
You're talking about the chocolate bar?
I know exactly what the answer
Coconut.
is.
If it's a chocolate bar, coconut.
No, cheese. That's why they thought the moon was made of cheese. It was actually the Milky Way. Tell him, Bill.
Bill, can I have multiple choice in this, please?
Yeah.
I'm guessing one of them has got the word cheese in now.
Your options are Milky Ways, rum, or cheese.
Cheese is in there.
Well, he's just put it in some rum.
Yeah.
Do you know what Uranus smells of?
No.
No, I don't think anyone knows that to have gone there. 'Cause it's too far away, that planet.
Yeah. Do you want one more?
Apparently it stinks, but how would I know that? Yeah, well, we've got time for one more.
So closest wins on this one.
All right.
How long would it take to walk 1 light year?
So let's Stuart answer that. He's the
one
guest
light
of today's show.
Yeah.
A billion years.
Andy?
I say 1,000,000,001, so I'm a little bit closer to the answer.
268 million. So,
do you know what?
Stu takes that one.
If we start now, we could be back by Tuesday.
That is the second time that I've beaten you on this head-to-head.
I'll let you win.
All right.
Oh, what a
Thanks,
tune. Well
Bowie.
done.
Top man. What a sick
What a I could listen to
gallery.
this. I will listen to this album on the way home. Stuart, it's been a pleasure and an honour, and
As
you've
always.
started off What's in Stuart's Bag, and forever that will stay on our show.
I shall dig something out next time I'm on to bring in.
Okay. Stuart, I love you. Thank you, man, for coming on. Me and Betty are back on Tuesday. Obviously, it's Easter weekend, lots of football on Friday and Monday, so have a great Easter weekend, and make sure, above everything, you be safe, everyone. Be safe.
when we look at the end of the season, let's talk about the title race and the run-in. Manchester City and Arsenal